button. It is Toys Day. Thank you everybody for hanging out in the chat there. A couple of you little early birds. 8-Bit Mike, I'm pretty sure you've probably been here since first thing this morning. Von Fake Name, what's going on, homie? I was just chatting to you a moment ago. Boy's looking good. If anything, I've got his tab up. I'm going to show you guys later. Dude's going through like a transformation and not the kind that you see in, what's that book there, that Metamorphosis. There we go. Yeah, he's going the opposite of Metamorphosis. He's not waking up as a cockroach. He's going the other way around.
Hold on. Here I'm Oscar. I got my volume up on my iPad. What am I
was going to say, I'm watching over at you. I'm trying to see what you're doing over there. You're just kind of smiling, chilling. Hey, what up?
I'm trying to pull up the chat, and I don't know what I'm doing, dude.
Hey, you talking about that chat, though? Anybody at home who's watching the chat, make sure you hit that live chat, hit the like, and actually, even though we normally don't give two fucks, hit that subscribe button, because B and I have found ways to lurk for your subscriptions, and we're going to do some kind of weird giveaway spinny thing after the fact coming up. Did you just say Did you do a there? It was a very good radio quality, like like a late.
Was there?
Hello, boys and girls. Jazz radio.
I don't know. Subconsciously, maybe I can channel that and maybe turn that into something. My YouTube right now that I'm watching on my iPad for the chat is just so bizarre right now. I have no idea what it's doing. I'm literally watching it rewind itself right now, and your face is paused. Check this out. Your face is paused just like that. What is that?
Well, I mean, lucky for you, I'm a sexy motherfucker, so you get to just stare at that face that whole time. Quickly saying hi to everybody in the chat there. One Fake Name, what's going on? Line Faster, Sandvik, what's going on? Slightly Adrift, Lynn's Rat Boy, Zymatco, Grayskull Toys, what is going on? Skilled One, sup. Carolina Colecat, what is going on? Good dude. I don't know if I let you know I did end up finding the antlers. Dylan Clement, how are you? And Porpoise, the old Gen Porp daddy. And he has a father, actually. Yeah, so the Gen Porp daddy. Daniel Antill, Toys Night, what up?
Nice. Yeah, man, we tried to keep it. We were just talking we tried to keep it to 3. I don't know what we were thinking. I guess technically there could be 3 that we're going to talk about, but yo, Strafe, what up, man? Stormico, what up? Yeah, dude, there is some absolute sweetness sitting right next to me, and I'm sure your house is the same right now. Very excited to look at some of these pieces. And I don't think we didn't tell each other what we grabbed, right? So you don't know what I have. I think I have a feeling some of the artists that I know that you pulled, but I'm not sure. So I'm not guessing, you know?
I'd be pleasantly surprised if you guessed my artists. We both kind of tried doing the same thing, I think, where we know pieces we've shown off before, so we tried to kind of avoid that. I will say there's no one trick this evening, because you guys have seen me do all the one trick pieces. Like, you know what I mean? They're like autos for me. Oh, Toys on Tap, what's going on? Stream 7, what is going on? If you guys in the chat there feel up to it, let us know what you guys think makes a Grail piece, because B and I were actually talking about this earlier. And 8-Bit Mike actually been through in as well. For him, Grail pieces are going to be pieces that he's probably actually acquired from meeting that person, which I would completely agree. A lot of times I can definitely pump a piece up. Happy Trail Day. Every Grail I own are from Toyronto or WNY Makers.
There you go.
WNY.
WNY. I don't know. Yeah, Salsa, new hat. Thank you for recognizing that. When I first moved to Vacaville, where I currently reside, when I was 9 years of age, I was on the Brewers. So I've always had a little thing for the Brewers. And I love Gary Sheffield. That means nothing to you, Crumbs, but I'll tell you what, Gary Sheffield, you talk about a guy who can get up there and just jack home runs like a badass from Oakland, California. That's him.
See, you act like just because I don't know a lot about sports, I wouldn't know these people, but I love sportsmen. So, you know, I'm watching.
Then look up Gary Sheffield. It's big in the 90s.
I know Gary Sheffield.
Okay. All right. Oh, man. So, what is up with you, dude? What's going on, man? Let's chat before we get into this. What's going on? Hey, real quick, how many people are in here? 24. That's good enough. Dude, check this out. Congratulations to us. I was snooping around our YouTube account the other day, which I never do. I thought I should probably look into some of that. Dude, we recently, it was probably happened a couple weeks ago now. We hit 20,000 views. 20,000 views for Toyz Alive, dude. Damn. In a little bit over a year. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's not good, but
You know
I
what?
feel like that means 20,000 people checked out the portion of this video.
Well, okay, so there's something we've got to keep in mind though in general. So when our videos are usually about 2 hours long, we get half the amount of views because most people are going to be checking out the next day. So they wake up and they end up watching it the next day. So that does sometimes double up our views on our stuff. So fuck you, 8-Bit Mike, watching this all weekend. Get a life. Chazwiz, what up? But the other side that I would actually say about it as well, man, is admittedly for what we actually do on this show, it's kind of hard to compare it to other things out there. Ariel TMNT does a lot of unboxings. He'll do things like the old Burger King toys, as well as things like some of the new indie toys, as well as a whole bunch of like the Mexican bootlegs. His page will often get like 23,000 views. And like it just skyrockets really, really fast. Titty Bean Toys is what I'm talking about there. But I would say personally that our show, the best comparison I can really give for it is DKE, like Dove Kelmer. They're kind of like the closest thing on YouTube kind of doing this. And we kick their ass every week, so I don't care. Not that it's a competition of numbers or anything like that.
Well,
I would always wanted to see more content, more community, more sharing of this shit. So it's not a competition. But Dove
and they're different. And they're different. You know what I mean? Like same city, but not the same neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. Me and Dove are basically the same dude.
No, but no, that's not true. That's false.
False.
But it's it's different, dude. You know what I mean? And I think the variety is what and the fact that there is no like so-called competition, I think that's one thing that makes it, thrive a little bit, is that we're doing different stuff. Toys on Tap is different. You know what I mean? Bootleg Market is different.
Toys on Tap had some goodies this past week, man. Jimmy Folklore.
Yeah, bro. What's the Open It Already? I almost forgot their name. Open It Already. That was
I missed those boys, dude. It's funny you mentioned Open It Already. This one almost slid in. This one, we talked about it. We bought a couple cheater
Bro,
Grails.
I have that.
What? No, you don't.
Yes,
no,
I
don't.
do. Motherfucker, I do.
Okay, so yeah, we've got a couple cheater Grails today. So admittedly, this is one of the first prints that Trash Can Monster ended up actually doing. And when he shipped this off to me with some other work at one point, I asked him, I was like, dude, I've got a black and white shelf from the homies of pieces that are kind of like a little nod to like my little baby girl. Did you intentionally do that? And his response was, wasn't intentional. Sometimes the universe just makes sure that pieces make it where they're supposed to be. And that was kind of like the first time that somebody made a black and white piece that they had no idea about the black and white shelf, but they were like, no, but put them on there, man. So
I thought I had one on this shelf in front of me, but I don't.
I don't even think you actually have one. You're just trying to look like you're cool too.
I have that. That is weird, dude, because that was just one of those pieces where I was just like, he threw it in the box and I'm just like, oh, that's cool. That was a little extra. And I'm like, looked like an overpour that had a nice little circle that it sat in. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. And it's just always just sat there. And man, dude, that's old, right? That's probably a couple years old. I want to say that came with that probably came with like
Astronautaloid?
Yeah, probably. I was gonna say that, or Intergalactic Active Shooter was the other one.
It wouldn't have been that one because by that point he and I weren't chatting, and I know I missed that one. That being said, I've got one here. I think only one of these was actually ever made. He had planned on making more of these. And again, a little bit of a cheater Grail piece. I hadn't planned on showing off here. Weaponized Assault Penguin. I think there's only one of these for the WAP. Personally, I love WAP. WAP's like one of my favorite foods, one of my favorite pastimes, one of my favorite things on the planet. Weaponized Assault Penguin all day, every day. What I love probably the most about this piece is on the very back it says no cuck bitches, because admittedly, me and Trash Can Monster, that used to be a little thing. No cuck bitches, man. Ain't no cuck bitches around here. I don't know if you know what a cuck is. A cuck is basically somebody who watches somebody else fuck their wife. We were basically saying, ain't none of those guys here, man. We ain't none of those guys.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Recollection Toys, what's up, man? Yeah, well, oh, there we go. Now the chat finally just caught up, dude. Holy smokes. About time. Recycle Galaxy. What's up? Spank. What's going on, mate? All right, dude. Well, where you want to start this bad boy at? You just want to go one for one? You want to talk about anything else? I was looking at the calendar and we got some good stuff coming up. Hey, check this out. We'll start doing this. How about giveaways for tonight? Bam. Let's take a look at those real quick.
Do it.
Speed Skull. Blank one. All right. Speed Skull. If you don't have one, you could possibly win one tonight. Dope, man. We talk about it all the time. How dope this piece is. Any flavor, any style. Sick. So that'll be up for grabs.
What I love about that piece, and like I personally would think Resin Blood would have no real like intent. I don't think it's intentional, but being the size that it is, the sculpt that it is in a Safubi, it reminds me of the old sky, like the old school Pocky that we'd see, man. Like you'd go to an old like dollar store and there's that like toy sitting on a package that looks like nothing you've ever seen before, and it's marketed just kind of like super killer guy, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna need 5 of those.
Yeah.
No, I dig that, man.
Yeah, it really does, dude. And this one, I mean, dude, there's so much about this one, dude. I mean, the sculpt from Eddie, the tattoo vibes on it, the articulation, the scale, the fact that it's vinyl.
Even the articulation on it's solid, man. Again, that's a good vinyl piece. Somebody's gonna get that and they're gonna be happy. That's what I say.
Straight up, man.
And if not, if you're not happy when you get it, if you don't want it, we're just gonna keep it. That's the new rule.
That would be odd. The other one that we have for tonight, we have 2 more actually. We have an E2K gift card, another 25 buckaroos to somebody to go shopping over there. And then the last one that we have is another vinyl figure, actually 5-inch from Barely Human. That dude.
Barely Human. If you're watching, I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable for a moment. We just got your follow, homie.
It's okay. It's okay.
Give us a big pile of vinyl being like, boys, I would like you to get these vinyls out into the world. We're like, dude, you're a fucking legend. Today, right before the show, I see Barely Human started following you. I'm like, god damn.
Yeah. I saw that and I thought that was funny too, because you're right. He did send us a crap load of stuff and I've talked to him multiple times. I think he sent us probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 vinyl figures, right? We still have a couple left. This one is Wave 3. This one is Honda Baja. Pink.
Honda Baja.
Bam. All right. So that's going out. Speed Skull going out. E2K card going out. All right. Boom. That's what's going on tonight.
Going to the movies.
Eddie just texted me on my cellular device and said, hey, you're doing a show tonight, right? And I said, right now, as a matter of fact.
You know, one of my favorite quotes I think I've heard, or I guess like a backstory I've heard is the one night, what's his fucking name now? Plagued Earth Production was actually talking to me about the night that him and Eddie came on. And he says to me, yeah, Resin Blood actually was talking to me beforehand. He's like, dude, whatever you're doing, sit down when you go on there. Because if you're moving around too much, it's always fucking a pain in the ass to watch when you're moving around. I remember that night. You both were moving around like 2 fucking like ticks. You were literally moving like ticks at a dog park. Like just fucking. One of you was doing circles. It was Plague was doing circles with a big giant black star above his head, like some kind of fucking like fever dream from one of those 1990s movies where it's like Casper the Ghost or something. And Eddie was in the world's longest basement ever seen, constantly going from one end to the other. At one point, the dude had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, a toy he was showing us, and grabbed coffee and took a swig while hacking a dart playing with a toy. Dudes.
Yo, I call that mad skill, dude. Pumping out dope art pieces and just like, yeah, I don't really give a fuck. That dude stays up late, man. I mean, his schedule is way off, and I think most, tattoo artists that I know, when you run your own schedule, you kind of do whatever you want. You know what I mean?
And he's got a baby. He's got a fam jam. You know what I'm saying, man? That guy's always fucking going. He's a monster.
Absolutely. Baba Drop. What up, Johnny Marbs? What up? Johnny Marbs sent me some pictures of some of his grails, dude. He had some freaking nice ones in there, dude. Some real nice ones.
You should have sent them over my way, man, because admittedly, I did actually pull up a couple of 8-Bit Mike sent us a couple as well. And I was actually at LM9's office the other day, and I saw a couple of these in person. But 8-Bit Mike was showing off these LM9 pieces we've discussed before. He was saying these are going to be his grailers. They're bigger than you expect as well. There's version, I believe that's version 1, and that's version 2, but I might have it backwards. So 8-Bit, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong there. But he also ended up showing us this green and red one that he's got as well. Some of that LM9 stuff that he was doing earlier on, man, in my opinion, was on point.
Yeah, dude, and that piece right there, I had not seen that until he posted it. I was like, oh schnazzle. Those are great, dude.
Those are great, dude.
Made more of those.
Well, and you know what though, I'm gonna give Lab Monkey number 9 some like, because when he and I were hanging out probably around Fan Expo time, I'd kind of let him know, like, man, with your drops it's really hard because a lot of times you do one figure, it's gone ASAP, B's got it, or a Yakamak, and then we all have to see them flaunt it. He did a wave of like 5 this time. He held on to one himself, but he did a wave of 5. I thought that was sick. There was actually one of the toy dudes reached out being like, man, I've got my first LM9 coming in. So it's like, fuck yeah, dude, $30 a piece.
Yeah. He had, were you talking about, so he just did a drop, did I, with multiple pieces? Is that what you just said, dude? I'm sorry.
Yeah, LM9 just did a drop there of that Wolfman Apache.
Yeah, I was checking our Johnny Marp's pictures are in the toy account. So if you look at him in there, I was looking at my personal account. And I'm just like, what the hell did I know? He sent me those. Anyways, so that's where those are. But yeah, dude, it's fun to talk about grails and see what people really, what makes up a grail, dude. And we were talking before the show, and I think we could do probably a handful of grails on just like for each category, right? Like sentimental ones, rare ones, first pieces, first releases, one of ones, customs. So to pick 3 out of, even just a group of, let's say 5 categories that's tough. That's a tough one, man. And I guarantee you that the ones that I picked tonight, there's way more. There's just the ones that I'm, that happened to land it tonight. It's funny. You said you stayed away from one trick. And so you think that I would stay away from, like Hurt and Healy. No, I did not. I
think that's different though, because okay, so the reality is I think a lot of the homies think right away, if I've got a one trick, it's gonna be a Swamp Thing. The reality is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 one-trick pony Swamp Things. I don't think you guys need to see all those Swamp Things and know why they're grails, right? The ones that, in my opinion, stand out as being graily, we've talked about it. For some reason, you and I have the chocolate Valentine's Day drop from him. That's a grail, in my opinion. When we look at the He-Mando, Batmando one, the fact that some of us know exactly what that piece is, and then there's a very select few of us that cared enough about that piece to grab it, But your Heelys and your Hurt Toyz has some insane one-offs that like he's made basically with you in mind. And then at the same time, you've also got some Heelys shit that like you're always tracking down Heelys. So if you've found somebody that's got some old Heelys, or if you've talked to Heely for a gem, like that's kind of why it makes sense to me why you'd have those. And the reality is, if I had my Swamp Thing Mold Eater here tonight, that'd be in my pile as well, right?
Yeah, like for sure.
I would have to, because that's a big old fucking gang mold. The Swamp Thing I'd have to be like, but
yeah, absolutely. It's funny that you mentioned hunting down Heely stuff, dude. It seems like I think we all know that dude's catalog is just bananas, right? And as many times as I've thumbed through that thing, I still see pieces that either I just missed in the thread or that I've never seen before. And I'm like, nah, that's not a Heely. And then I'm like, nah, that's crazy. Anyways, got a couple of those to show tonight as well.
We don't think about it.
Let me ask you, I was going to say, did you pick anything tonight that is commercially made, or is this all?
I went indie? All indie. I went all indie Resin Boys and Fubi indie. Yeah, but I figured if we were gonna go with like grails, there's a few of us with those. I know fucking Burial Boba has one of the original Boba Fett's, the rocket firing and the mail away, all in a CAS like case, right? So it's like, Shit, man. Some of the dudes in the scene have some grails.
Yeah, I only brought one of those. I did bring a commercial piece, and this specific commercial piece, if somebody came in my house and said you have to take one thing out of this room, it would be this piece. 100%.
See, I'll be honest with you, man. House on fire, I'm just standing next to the shelves. But
Well, I'm not hoping it happens. I'm just
yeah,
saying.
if somebody says take one with me, I don't think I could pick. But the thing is that when I'm thinking about grails, there's times, it happened the other day, if I'm looking at my shelf and I don't see it right away, I start getting murdery. At first it's kind of like, hey, where's that piece? How come it's not standing there? And then you kind of look at the other shelves and then you're like, no, where the fuck's that piece? And then you start thinking to yourself, did I grab that and show that to somebody recently? And then you start getting into like, yo, if I don't find that motherfucking piece, there was somebody here the other day. They know I like that piece. Maybe they walked out with it. Maybe that person came in here and checked my fucking thermostat. Maybe they took it, right? Your brain starts racing, and then somebody else will be like, dude, it's behind this. And you're like, give me that shit right now. Like, in my mind, those are grails. Those ones that, like, when they're missing for a second, like, your heart stops. You're literally just kind of like,
Oh, man. Fixed Tempo says they recently bought a whole bunch of the Halloween Treehouse of Horror Burger King toys. Speaking of commercial stuff, good one.
Fixed Temple
Yeah.
Toys. Somebody was doing an unboxing of those, admittedly, and those are freaking good. Those were good. I'm not normally a big like McDonald's and Burger King fan, but they were showing all the, like, the little TV sets and how they all clip in together and stuff, and I was getting a little FOMO-y.
Little FOMO-y.
You gonna be doing any boxes tonight as well, or you're just gonna be laying into your grails?
Just Grails tonight. I think there's enough of those to go around.
Why don't you start with some of your, because I know we both have almost like pre-grailies, and we didn't even get on it yet. For you, what are some of the criteria that makes a grail, right? Is it the exclusivity? Is it the sought afterness of other collectors? Is it the like, what is it? Is it sentimental? Like,
All of that. That's why I said it's impossible to pick three, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could do sentimental, rarity, vintage. That's three right there. But then you add other stuff like custom, one-off, and now you're up to five. And so now you only pick three out of those five categories. So there's two categories right away that you have to dismiss, which sucks because I personally think that everything that I have next to me tonight would hit one of those categories for sure. There's some rare shit. There's some one-offs. There's some customs. There's definitely some sentimental stuff. There's some shit that I've never seen before besides what I have here. So it's tough, dude. I mean, I think it's all of that. And it's cool to see what it means to other people too. I think that's, shit, dude. I mean, open to interpretation, right? Is kind of what this whole thing is about anyways. But yeah, it's cool to see what other people think of it. For some people, it means like, an old school, bootleg figure, or maybe a Star Wars figure that is just worth thousands of dollars. Maybe that's a grail. And I agree. Fucking A, that is 100%. I don't have one of those, but the other categories for sure. So, and what about you, my friend? By the way, I like that shirt you got on tonight, my man. Nice.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that, man. I'm pretty sure it's a double XL. Check this shit. Anyways, yeah, no, I think with my grails, part of what really did it for me was I acknowledge there are certain pieces I have in my collection that I just have a lot of, man. Like, there's a reason I've got like 10 or 15 of them, and it's pretty rare. Like, there's a lot of pieces I've got one of, and there's other pieces I've got like 10 or 15 of them. I think there's some pieces that it's interesting how I ended up with it. So it's kind of sentimental because one of those things where you're sitting there going, why the fuck did you know? How did you know, right? And somebody sent you something. I would even say, I've got stuff I shouldn't have. That ends up landing into our category. I've got a whole shelf of toys that I call my shelf of toys that don't exist. Because they're realistically those toys that, like, the maker even gives it to you and you're like, I can't share this. You'll get in trouble or someone will get in trouble. This just doesn't exist, but thank you for getting it to me.
Yeah. Trying to think if I have any of those, man.
This shouldn't exist. I broke something that should not exist while I was painting it for somebody. This should not exist, but because it broke, it exists.
There you go. That's a good example. All right.
Show me something you got. I want to see something you got over there. Anything.
So why don't I just start off with the commercial piece? You want to do that?
Get that commercial shit the fuck out of here. Yeah, show
what
it,
I'm saying.
and then bye-bye now.
Get out.
Bye-bye.
Right, exactly. We'll show him the door, and he can go hang out in the other room while we talk about the adult stuff. So this piece right here, good Lord, what year is this from? 1983. So 1983. And it's this piece right here. And it's the 49ers mascot. It's from 1983. The NFL at the time, or I don't know if it was the NFL, but there's a whole line of these, and they are not cheap, man. If you look these up online on eBay, I would say they go anywhere from like 50, 60 up to 3, 4, 500 for some of the more rare ones. But this piece right here, man, it was actually a piece that my mom had, and everywhere I've moved, man, I've lived in probably 22 different houses, man. And every single place that I lived, this piece was there. And as far back as I can remember, when my mom was single and we were living in this shithole in Redwood City, right down the street from the 49ers training camp, as a matter of fact, because I used to practice at this park. This was always up there. And it was one of the few pieces that I remember being there all the time. And it's been with me ever since then. I mean, once I moved out when I was a teenager or, late teens, I took it with me, and it's been everywhere I go. So that's the one, man. If I had to take one piece from here, it would be that guy.
That's
it.
Yeah.
And it's based, I mean, it's more of a symbol, right? It's more of a symbol. Like I think about, basically family all the time when I look at that. And that's that piece. Pocket Salsa said you have a bunch of those. Yeah, you better go get those back, dude. Yeah, mom was single until I was a little bit older. Then she met my stepdad, and they've been married ever since. So they've been married for like 30 plus. Anyways, that's that, man.
Prior to that, it was pretty hard just me, B, and his mom. I did the best I could, but I'm really glad the stepdad came in. I was just a little young. He was a little old. Things got weird.
Yeah, you were like negative 20? Something like that.
Spermazoa, what up?
No,
I love that piece, dude. You know what I think I like the most about that piece is, personally, you kind of nailed it. Like, family pieces are different. I remember even my parents used to have Deltoff cases, and like I would ask them when I was playing with my action figures, can I grab such and such? Can I grab whatever, right? It'd be like sometimes little plastic guys like that from their youth. Sometimes it might be like an iron horse or something, right? I dig that, dude. And that kind of brings us into those categories of like, what is a toy sometimes, right? We have that conversation. Pocket Salsa is probably one that I feel the most recently. We were chatting, his wife even said, like, you don't make toys. He's like, this is kind of where I've found myself. And it's like, I know, but is this a toy? You know what I mean? One of my favorite pieces right beside me is this a toy? Like, what is a toy a lot of times? And the issue is for me, like, they're all toys. Like, my mother would set up a Christmas village, right? And I'd play with her Christmas village, and I'd think to myself, you have Christmas toys. Every year you pull out your toys, you keep all the boxes, you make sure they're in mint condition, you've got memories for them, people give them to you, you set them up in these little stances and plays. Like, they're fucking toys, man.
Yeah.
I dig that. I don't know. And it's fun that like your family literally had that. Like it's a toy.
Yeah.
But your family had that piece and it passed around. Like it stuck around with you guys.
Yeah, and for me, like I said, dude, for me, it's more of a symbol. But then when you start looking at it, right, like somebody sculpted that originally, you know what I mean? And so you could even break it down like that and say, damn, dude, that's like really good artist work. I mean, if you look at it like that, I mean, dude, that is legit. Those are dope little pieces, dude. You know what I mean? The little red checkered shirt. What's up? A little fucking shout to Bob's Big Boy. It's not, but that's what I think of.
See, that's why I think for me personally, when I say toy, I never mean anything offensive by it because I recognize personally that was a hand sculpted piece. Somebody had to still sculpt that. Somebody actually did use their artistic skills and their creativity to make a
Yeah.
piece.
Yeah, straight up, dude. And it's you know, then you get into definition of toys and you know and all that. But anyway, so that's the one commercial piece. I'm gonna throw them down the hall.
Hey, I'm gonna kind of rock right off your commercial piece. This is
Okay.
a newer piece, and I think it's a grailer. I think it's a grailer.
Oh,
But
you
this, in certain ways, okay, so this is why, in my opinion, I'm putting it right after your commercial piece. This is one of those things. I'm standing there at Loud Monkey number 9 the other day, right? And he says to me, Cat, Mozart, something else. I'm like, Mozart. He's like, one sec. Goes over to where his molds are, grabs this, goes, no, you have to clean up some of the sprues and stuff. You know, he just got out of the mold, so you have to clean it up a little bit. It was an overpour, so I wasn't really sure what it would look like. For one, this thing is massive. If we're actually looking at the size, right? Like, this thing's fucking huge, man.
Right.
What I think is absolutely nuts about this is technically Lab Monkey number 9 is probably not going to do a drop of these. I couldn't see him doing a drop of Mozart's, right? It's an overpour. He's got that mold there. When I asked him what's going on with that, it was an idea somebody else had where they were looking to do something, and this was basically like the tester cast to see, hey, can we do that? Like this mold, this figure was for somebody else to say, hey, let's see if we can actually do that. So in my brain, it's one of those things where you're like, you probably aren't going to be making a bunch of these. They're not going to go up for sale. And overpours are always fun, man. Like, look at that dope hairline coming in there. On the other side, too. You can tell that even if he didn't quite know, you can almost see where on the shirt, he tried pouring the white on both sides almost so it would catch. And he got one side, didn't quite catch the other. Being an overpour, there's some clear in there, but this black is literally just sitting on the outside cusp of that mold, where you can almost not see that clear, but then you can see like the little drops from that clear underneath, man. Clean cast, beautiful actual piece, and again, I don't foresee LM9 ever doing a wave of Mozarts and doing a drop on them. Now that I've said it, watch, he'll be like, look at Mozart drop, guys, get him. And everybody will be like, I got 1, 2 Crumbs, I got 1, 2 Crumbs, and I'll be like, dope, dude, we all got Grails now. But at the moment, you're kind of like, yeah, this was a piece that you were kind of doing for a whole other commercial type job potentially. And if it didn't go according to plan, this isn't really like in your repertoire of things you make. So, and based on the size, I don't foresee him tossing a bunch of these out in boxes. So that's where you're kind of just like,
yeah. When you showed me that picture, I thought it was not even close to that scale. That's way bigger than what I thought.
It's huge, man.
Dude, the black stripe across the face. Are you kidding me? Get out of here, dude.
Well, and you guys can't see it. What's so sick, you're going to think that the matte gray up here is the same. It's actually matte gray, black, silver. So that gray is actually like a nice shiny silver in there. And then oddly enough, when you hit it with a UV light, he must have poured something UV reactive in that silver because it pops, but there's nothing UV or green looking. LM9, man, thank you, dude. Beautiful piece, homie.
Titty Bean was, yeah, dude, that's unbelievable. And I want one, and I'm jealous. And now that you said what it was for, it's even more rare. You're right. You probably won't be making any of those. Titty Bean says, is yours considered a tchotchke? That's open for discussion. I think if we put this as a tchotchke, I think that we got to put a lot of stuff in this community as a tchotchke, honestly. You know what I mean? Like if we're going to say that, well, the pieces that aren't articulated or that are just a cast of something else that already exists. I mean,
I call
don't know, is that a toy or is it a tchotchke or is it a grail or what is it?
They're all butt plugs. I just assumed that anything that doesn't have small pieces that can get lost, limbs, they're all just butt plugs. I don't know what you guys are making otherwise. That's what I'm using them for.
Yeah.
Why do you think I was so stoked on the size of this, man?
That's huge, dude. That's huge. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, you could probably categorize it as that. If that's the case, I got a lot of fucking tchotchkes around here. That's for sure.
I thought you were gonna say if that's the case, I gotta plug that in here.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, we could probably do a whole show on that. Yeah, what is that?
Butt plug pieces? We're gonna do a whole show on pieces that remind us of butt plugs?
That's dope, dude. Who made that? That
You
was
know, Creature Maker, man. Creature
yeah,
Maker was probably one of the first people I saw doing full marbles like this. This isn't one of my grailies. If anybody likes Creature Maker toys, they don't have any pieces on their website. Clutter Magazine. Clutter Magazine, for some reason, still has like 5 from their pink show. That is the only place that you're going to find some Creature Makers, is Clutter Magazine store. There you go.
Yeah. Retro's who says Chachki was bad? Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying they're bad. I'm definitely not saying that they're bad. It just depends on what you want to call them. That almost sounds like an antiquate. What do you call it? A antiquated word, almost like it's something that you don't really hear that word too much anymore.
An antiquated word. Is somebody feeding you words over there? Your diction's not that good. Where's the forest?
Well, I got it wrong the first time I tried to say it, so it's not that special. One of my kids just pulled up in the driveway and their music is so loud, dude.
Stormical Station, thank you for catching that, man, because Creature Maker's website does not have anything, but if they're on Etsy as well, that's a big deal. Thank you, man, for catching that. Creature Feature. Maybe, that might be where I made the issue. Creature Feature, because Creature Maker toys, I'm pretty sure, has me blocked. A lot of Safubi dudes do. Okay, you can't mute and then go talk to somebody else in the room while I mute. Either you mute or I mute, man. Look at that beautiful profile he has, though. B does a really good job of shaving. He, ooh, clean. He shaves the back of his head real nice, too. Look how tight that is. There's, no, gray kind of razor burn. Do you cut your own hair?
Absolutely.
That's great, man. You do a good job.
Thanks. I haven't paid for a haircut since I was about, I don't know, 12.
You've been bald since 12?
I've been shaving my head since I was about that age. Yeah. Honestly, when I got it, probably more like 13 when I got into high school. Shaved it for football, never went back. Telling you, bro, straight up, every Sunday.
It looks good. It suits you, man. I couldn't picture the pony.
Oh, gosh, you kidding me?
Ooh, Jazzwiz, Hummels, homie. Good call, dude. They are really nice. I grabbed one Hummel a couple of years ago. Stay gone. Stay gone. Crumbsy, yes, hello. I used to run a Facebook ad for $1 a day saying, I sell tchotchkes. There you go, man. Telling his whippersnappers. There we go. Yes. I don't have any of these, okay? So yeah, all I have are weird little goblins that come to my door and go, hey, psst, 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 and whisper me shit.
I think it's your turn for a grail, or was it? Or
oh
was
hell
it
no! I just showed my lab monkey. That was my grail.
Okay.
I'm leaning up. I've got those. I'm the same as you. I'm showing off my weird little edgers till I get to my grail, right?
Okay. Well, let's do this, man. I'll start off with a okay. I'm gonna start off with Hurt Toys, I guess. It's closest to me.
Hey, you mind actually, because Hurt will probably never end up coming on here.
Yes.
Could you give us maybe the most bare bones, respectful breakdown you could, maybe, of Hurt Toys' intro into the toy scene, avoiding things that you know he probably wouldn't want to be common knowledge? Because you and I know parts of that are going to be ones that he probably wants private. But I don't think anybody really knows the origin story of Hurt Toys.
Coming into the scene?
Yeah.
So it was during COVID, for sure. And I think you and I were even talking earlier, Crumbs. He doesn't have regular cable TV, and I don't think he's had that for the longest time. And that's, nothing. That's nothing crazy. That's just that there's so many streaming options out there. He just has those. So he was watching a lot of YouTube, and he came across the Suck Hour on Suck Lords stuff, and we started watching those, every now and then. And then you start kind of seeing some of that stuff online. And I think everybody knows, man, once you get started, it's just kind of like a waterfall from there. Like, one thing leads to the next thing you know, it's like you're just so deep in it. But it started off with the Suck Hour. And honestly, man, like hearing little things, because if you notice on the Suck Hour, dude, they don't really talk, when they're talking about what resin they're using and stuff like that, they don't really slow down and say like, hey, it's this is what it is. It's a quick number real quick, or something that they're referring to. And there were times where, he would be taking notes and you have to kind of pause it and then figure out what's going on. And then just kind of start from there, dude. I mean, he's a phenomenal artist besides the resin stuff. Like, even if he never did anything in resin, the dude is a phenomenal artist. He does, paints, watercolors, tattoos. He does sculpting, spray paint, tagging. He does like everything, dude. He's an artist altogether. And then once this started, it just it really took off, man. He's a really big He-Man guy. He's really big. There's Ninja Turtles he really likes. So we just kind of started making this stuff, little bit by little bit, and molding stuff up and casting it. And next thing you know, he's kind of putting stuff together. And which is funny, dude, because this is one of the first pieces that I have. Now, this is not the Grail piece, but I do have the piece right here because this is what kind of set the whole thing off, dude. So this was a slime pit Jawa, is what he called it. And I pulled this one out because it glows like crazy. But this is the first one. Like, you can tell, like, the hands aren't all the way developed or anything. And there's a little bubble under the hood, but this is like really the first one that I remember him making and saying, dude, check this out. And then he goes, hey, it's just like slime pit Jawa. And then he's like, oh no, that would work for a name. And then he put two little red eyes on it. And that was kind of the beginning of, man, I can mold something and cast it and make it look cool and almost identical with a little bit of work. Then he did some sculpting work, and then he did, a bunch of these. And I don't know if he ever even sold these. I think these just were freebies to everybody for a while, and some of his first stuff that he gave out there. So that is not what I'm showing tonight of his, though, even though I did kind of show it. I could show the double beast man flocked. I'm not going to show that.
Yeah, why would you? Yeah, don't show that.
No. I could show this this skull crusher here.
I mean, you could, yeah.
That custom, I could. I won't.
Jesus.
The one that I will show. Now, this one is for a couple reasons. One, just because of the quality of it is spectacular. Number two is because the detail on it is crazy. But I think most of all, because this was a gift that he gave me for my birthday a couple years ago. This is an Evil Lynn that he made, custom cape. And I did a post on this one a while ago. He did the ball on here separately. So basically what he did is, like the ball and the staff, this was all glow. And then he ended up painting the black back on. And so just the ball glows, which is really dope. But the work on this thing is insane. Definitely one of the cleanest pieces that I have. He did do some sculpting in here. The legs do not articulate, so it stands like a freaking champ. Custom cape on it. It does have magnetic articulated arms that are holding the cape on. But that dude right there, one of my favorites.
That's a gorgeous piece, man. I think you showed that off maybe around the time that you got it even. And the paint app on that is just absolutely stunning.
Dude, the detail on it, man, I don't know if that's even in focus, dude, but it's crazy good. The colors are great. His paint work is great. I mean, so that's the first one. Bam.
Now, sorry, man. When did you say you ended up getting that piece? That's because that's only about a year old at this point, right?
No, that's probably 2 years old. I would say for my birthday, probably 2 years ago. Yeah, something like that.
Time.
But dude, I know, dude, if you think about it, it's almost 2024.
I know. I felt really weird the other day. Somebody was asking me questions about timing of certain things and events. And the problem is in my brain, I'm like, oh shit. I was trying to use Toyz to kind of try and place things. So I'm like, well, I think I grabbed my first piece like 2018. When did COVID happen though? You know, and something you're trying to like place COVID starting with collecting and when you got pieces to try and figure out what the fuck year it even was. Because I think by 2020, it was kind of just like most of us were living in a cave for a while. We're like, has it been 6 months? Has it been 2 years? Is this my future?
Well, and it's weird, man, how like that is kind of the measuring stick as far as time goes, you know, for everything. You like, it's the first thing you think of and you're like, well, how long ago was it? And you're like, okay, well, let's chop it down real quick. Was it before COVID or after COVID? Okay, before COVID. Okay, so we're talking pre-2020 then, right? So, I mean, it is what it is.
And then you almost feel like an idiot, man, because like there's parts of your life that you're trying to actually just tell people, like, if it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and you're literally sitting there like having a brain fart, being like, what, when, I don't know. And people are looking at you kind of be like, you don't know parts of your life. The reality is too, though, and this is actually something for anybody out there who has these moments. The unfortunate reality is that when we are in a very intense, stressful period and your brain is basically in survival mode, it doesn't really give two fucks about short-term memory. And so the idea of trying to like figure out what day, year, time it was when you were literally in survival mode, it's just not going to really happen. Your brain doesn't really give two fucks about remembering things and the dates and times when you're literally just boiling in bullshit. Boiling in bullshit. Can you imagine actually just a big old pot of fucking bullshit boiling and you're just sitting there being like, I'm gonna dive in this soon. That's basically, I think that's basically all of us. Every morning we wake up and we look at life out the window and we go, oh, big steaming pile of shit. I'm gonna bathe in you, buddy. What up?
Street Fight says time speeds up for old people even more. Yeah, true that. All right, man, it's on you. What you got?
It's on me. You know what? I'm going to show this one off. And what's funny about this is that this is actually near the bottom of my grailers. And I will be totally honest, it took me a while to necessarily really even appreciate what this is. So for any of you guys who know the Rainbow Yawn Scare Glows, the reality is that when I first got this piece, I wouldn't have been intelligent enough to understand how difficult it is to actually cast a skeleton inside of the limbs of these. Because of course, I don't know shit about casting when I got this, right? But then as you start seeing more and more people double cast, you realize how important it is when an object inside that cast is not bubbling. There's nothing coming off of there, any of those holes. They're not shooting bubbles out into the resin that's being double casted. The other thing that makes this one really sick, in my opinion, is that he reached out to me knowing that I really wanted one of the scare glows. He said, Crumbs, man, I got a little excited with the blood. I went a little bit way too fucking hams on the blood. I'm curious if you would like to have one of the bloody ones before I actually drop the wave of scare glows. And I was like, you know what, dude, I don't mind the bloody at all. And he said to me, well, Crumbs, dude, you know, if there's anything that you maybe want custom on this, let me know. And I said, well, Rainbow Yawn, I've got a black-white shelf. If for some reason you felt a desire to do a black and white anything on there, it would mean a lot to be able to put that Grail piece up on my black and white shelf. So my Scare Glow from Rainbow Yawn, I think, is the only one that ended up getting a black and white cape. All the other ones have like their cape. They came with a black fur cape, I think he sent out afterwards as well. So I do have the black fur cape as well. But all the accessories for mine ended up actually being a black, white, red. And then my cape is actually a black, white, red as well. So for me, I think that's what makes it a Grail, is that not only is it one of the Scare Glows, but there's not many of us that would actually have a Rainbow Yawn one-of-one Scare Glow. And the fact that I think it makes it a Grail not because it's the one-of-one, but because it's Uncle Matty, man. It's fucking Daddy Matty. This dude who's got almost 30,000 followers. His TikTok is blowing up. You have people asking him all the time, being like, how do I get one? How do I get one? And the guy is so fucking nice, so absolutely friendly, that he's in your DMs being like, would you like a custom cape? Would you like your accessories to be any particular color? It's like, that's the scene, man. It doesn't matter how fucking big somebody is, how skilled they are, how in demand they are. If there's somebody with a big heart and they know that you really appreciate their work, they'll make something really fucking cool for you, dude. And so, like I said, admittedly, I feel as though it took me a while to necessarily fully appreciate what this piece is for the craftsmanship behind it, because I didn't know enough about casting at the time, but it's only been elevated more and more as I learn. For sure, man.
So tell me this, how is the inside of that black and white and the backside of that cape is black and red? What's going on there?
So if I had to guess, I'm assuming he would have put it out like a sandwich, right? And then of course you would have probably done the red first, poured your black, gone over top with the white. When he was doing his capes, I know he was having a really annoying time with doing the resin capes because he was getting a fair amount of bubbles. Because if you actually look, like they're thin. That's a thin cape. Try and get a consistency. And then you add in like that texture. So I know he was actually getting really annoyed with the capes because, of course, there's a certain quality that you want on them. Yeah, I'm assuming that's just a tri-marble on a 2-part mold.
That's funny, dude, because I have one of those capes, but it looks different. It's like the version 2 of it. I remember him telling me that it was it doesn't have that collar on it, that hood. It just kind of plugs in, like kind of hugs the neck a little bit, which is cool. Yeah, it does not have that. No, and I think I don't have mine displayed with it. And you know what? I'm glad I didn't grab mine because mine, I think he sent me a custom cape as well. Mine is black fur.
Yeah, so the black fur cape, I ended up putting on my Nostalgia piece, which that was almost a grailer as well, because I know a lot of people don't have those Neo brutes.
Just like that. Just like that.
Just like that. What you got? What you got over there? I know. What do I want to grab? He says.
Man, well, I think, dude, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna go ahead and renege on what I said on 3. I think it's gonna have to be 4. Well, there's gonna have to be 4 that I talk about. So you're gonna have to find another one. I know you have like 12. So you have like, yeah, I know. Oh, that's a hard decision. I know you have like 12 sitting there, just like I do. So, let's see, man. Here's one. Okay, let's just circle this guy up real quick. I'm not going to show this one, but this is the one that I just posted that I did a picture of. One of my favorite 3.75s from Titty Bean. It's crazy good just because it's crazy good, and I love Scout. What's that?
The picture's good, but that figure is fantastic too, man. But your picture looks ballin'.
Yeah, I mean my picture is like edited like crazy, right? But this thing in person, dude, the colors on it, dude, it is such a good figure. That came out of the Patreon. This is the other one. I've showed this one a couple times, but if we're talking about grails and kind of rare pieces, I think this is one of my more rare pieces. This is Titty Bean's first carded piece. It is an all-white Frankenstalker that comes with a swappable glow-in-the-dark head. Well, it does say 1 of 1 on there. If you can, there you go. Can't see that. But anyways, this is the first piece that I actually bought from Titty Bean. I bought it right out of the Etsy store, and honestly just hit it at the right time, I guess. Man, I went on there and I'm like, this is crazy. I had never seen these figures before, and this one was carded. I think this is one of the few carded ones that were in there, maybe the only carded one. And at that time,
green and orange.
Yeah, dope. So anyways, that's Titty Bean piece. That's not what I'm showing.
Of course not.
No.
Why would it?
Yeah, I wouldn't show that. I wouldn't even show this. That's one trick. Yeah, one of my favorites right there.
That is fucking gorgeous. I don't think I've ever seen that one, man.
That one is gorgeous, dude. Look at the eyes on that.
Good thing that's not a grail, though. I wouldn't grail that either. No.
It's there.
It's
there. Yeah. I'm not going to talk about this one.
No.
But it's a good one. I think, boy, this is the one that I will talk about right here is this guy. And man, there's a lot of stuff going on with this one. I've showed this one before, but this is Resin Bloods from when Kerfloss did that drop. And I don't know how many artists were in that, man. There were a lot of artists in there that basically got a copy of this and then were to kind of do it up in their own style. I remember I got into that super early, man, and every single one of them was available. And I chose this guy, and I think I made the right choice, man. This is one of the most beautiful pieces that I have.
Agreed. That thing's gorgeous, man.
It really is, dude. And you know what? It's partly because so many people were involved. Well, not so many people, but Kerfloss and Resin Blood. That's crazy, man. But the build up to this figure was wild. Like the process videos and all the videos about the movie. It was just. Yep. Go ahead.
The build was so big for that fucking figure, but it was supposed to be a hollow body figure. It wasn't a hollow body figure. It had to be a solid body figure, and fuck that then, because we waited so long for that hollow body figure, man. I was watching to see a hollow body figure. We were watching all that process with the Kerfloss and the wax, get a hollow body figure, and then we got a solid body.
I like the solid body better. I like the solid body better.
Yeah, same. I don't even touch hollow bodies, but that's why I was so excited to watch that, because I thought for once someone's gonna fucking solve.
Nah. The paint on this is insane, man. But it's just, it's the magnet work too. It's the base. And one of the other things, one of the main things is that it came from Eddie, dude. And I think Eddie is, he's another dude that is just an incredible artist, man, in so many different ways. The dude is sculpting his own stuff. Some of these canvases that he's been painting recently, those really, really large ones. I just saw the Transformer one. Insane. Those are crazy, dude. His resin work is insane. His tattoo work. I mean, the dude is just so multi-talented. It's stupid, man. It's really stupid. But this piece right here, oh man, it's just beauty.
Yeah, he really hit it with the sprays. Really, really nice, man. And admittedly, that sculpt a lot does remind me of something that we'd see Cronin Builder do. It's a fun piece.
Yeah, straight up, man. And you know what? I think there was actually 2 of these, and only one of them had the blood splatter on it, and I snagged that one up. But yeah, I agree. Vomiting Droids were. He was talking about the artists were amazing, dude. There was, I mean, do you remember Death and Strawberries piece was freaking awesome. Cronin Builder, like you said, that one was awesome. Some really, really cool stuff. But yeah, anyways, that's what we got. Boom.
Gorgeous
back on the
piece,
shelf.
Man.
Thank you. Back on the shelf you go, buddy.
There are certain ones that you get glad when you see it in certain collections. I will say, like the Eddie paint up one of that, the Resin Blood paint up on that one, it belongs in your home. It's nice to see there.
It's nice, dude. I was just gonna say, I have a little Resin Blood area. And this guy is front and center, man, and he looks great, dude. Looks like he's leading the charge. Anyways, boom, good one.
I do look forward to one of these days if we end up seeing it in the hollow body, only because I was so excited to see it. And I will say that too, for anybody who's kind of like, wow, I'm a dick about that. It wasn't anything to do with the fact that it's a solid body that bugs me. I was just so excited because Kerfloss's brain, watching him process through getting to that hollow body stage, I was just excited. I thought we were going to see a hollow body. Figured it out. Anyways.
Oh damn! I'm just going back through the thread real quick. Titty Bean said first figure out of the pressure pot. He thinks as well. Ta-da.
That's fair. Ta-da. Well, okay, you know what then? Fine. We're gonna ride the Titty Bean wave. So what I think is really neat about Titty Bean is the first time that I ever interviewed Titty Bean, I was creeping through his page, liking a bunch of shit, trying to figure out what his jam was, how long he'd been doing this. And I guess he noticed that I'd liked something from like really, really, really early on in his page, because the next box he sent my way ended up having this guy. And this just doesn't exist.
Ooh, what is that?
So this would have been a super early Titty Bean piece where he was still actually trying the Lego pegs for the articulation. Wow. And that would have been a Zuckus head. Feet at this point, totally different resin than what he's using now. Even the arms, first, I think he's got some paint app on there as well. But this ended up on the Grail, in my opinion, because this is one of those examples where it's like the artists, for something, one, you've got a piece from a homie that you get this too, man, with Titty Bean. When you can see an early piece of Titty Beans and then a new piece of Titty Beans, it blows your mind to be able to see how far along this guy has come throughout his work. When you're then looking at one of the first pieces where he's talking about trying out to use those Lego pegs for that tension, and then you have a piece from that period, it's hard not to be like, holy shit, dude, I've got like one of your original casts, like one of your first attempts at doing this whole thing. And the only reason why you even noticed that I liked it was you noticed, oh, Crumbs was looking through my page and liked a pic from like the first 2 weeks of posting on Instagram. Well, maybe he'd like it. And you're like, yes, damn, dude, what the frick? And then I don't even think we saw Titty Bean paint figures for another like year after this.
Yeah, dude. I think the earliest painted piece that I have from him, I think it was something that he actually threw in in an earlier box. It was a marbled trooper that I had. And I think he threw something in there, and it's gosh, dude, I don't have it right next to me, but it is so rough, dude. You know what I mean? And I love it so much because it's just like, dude, look how far this dude has come. I mean, it really is night and day, dude. You talk about going from someone, just learning how to do it and sending those figures out to, I mean, to these, it's like, I mean, and that's perfection right there.
And you know what?
Crazy.
What I love the most probably about that is that's an incident where I don't know if Titty Bean would have necessarily painted figures as quickly if a collaboration hadn't have come up with somebody who was supposed to paint some of his figures. They basically painted one in a very long period of time, sent him a picture, and Titty Bean was basically kind of like, the fuck am I doing? I can do that. And then the dude just started pumping out painted figures, and in my opinion, that's dope. That's so dope. I love just seeing that like bumping of the lamp to kind of be like, you're afraid to do it, and then you see somebody else and you're like, well, wait a minute. I can do that. And then he's banging out shit like that, just boom, 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 boom. A whole painted Patreon tier for what, 2 years? Love it, dude. The guy's a fucking gem.
Nice. You're up, bud.
Is this how we're gonna do it? We're gonna go back and forth. Well, fine then. Right beside my titty is actually gonna be another member of the El Camino crew, Vomiting Droids, man. So for anybody who knows Vomiting Droids, you guys know this guy's a bit of a weirdo. He does some weird stuff, and when I say weird stuff, I mean he has more patience than anybody should because he'll sit there holding weird shit. And when I'm saying holding weird shit, when we had him on, he explained to us this Boba Fett. In order to get it the exact halves that he wanted, he had to basically like have this propped up while he took the mold of it because he wanted the exact pieces for this. Now, personally, why this ended up in my Grail was I had no intent of grabbing this piece necessarily. I didn't know if I was going to get a Vomiting Droids piece. Vomiting Droids ended up casting one half of this on New Year's Eve and one half of this on New Year's Day. And when this piece arrived with the pieces that I had grabbed, he had actually put a letter in there that basically said, Crumbs, man, this piece was always meant to be at your place. This is kind of the home it was supposed to be. The black was there from the night before. The pink is actually from New Year's Day. It's to remind you that unfortunately, even though all that gross bullshit's in the past, you have to carry it with you a little bit. But you get to be all sparkly and shiny and pink, even with that. Vomiting Droids is somebody that I would consider a very, very dear friend. I think he's incredibly intelligent. I think he's incredibly insightful. He is somebody who, in the last couple of years, I would say the last 3-4 years, is probably why I'm a little bit less of a piece of shit most of the time. Him and people like One Trick, Titty Bean, yourself, they help us kind of understand what it is to be maybe a better person, and they do so in a way that's very tactful and works for me to be able to actually just be a little bit better. And the fact that somebody who knows me very well knows a lot of the bullshit that I was going through. A lot of you don't necessarily know. I was basically sleeping in my office for like 2 years while going through a huge separation. The fact that when I arrived in Toronto and I ended up getting this from Vomiting Droids and he tells me this was kind of always meant to be for you, the black gross side's there. You have to carry it with you, but you get to shine on and be all sparkly going forward. Fuck you. Fuck you. Means a lot, man. And that's that kind of shit. When we're talking about sentimental pieces, there's people in this scene that their hearts are just so stupidly big and they observe things and they do things like that pink fucking Zuckus, like that fucking pink and black boba that you couldn't ask them. You couldn't have asked for that. You couldn't have sought it out. You didn't know you needed it. They knew you needed it. And now you're like, holy fuck, I've needed this. And I didn't know. And those items become grails sometimes too.
Yeah. Dude, great story on that one too, man. Not only a great piece, but fuck, dude, Vomiting Droids, he's the homie, dude, for sure. Yeah, dude, that's so sick, but a really good story too, man. And I think That's one that I think you would obviously put in that sentimental category, but you could very well put in like probably two or three of those other categories, right?
So I normally separate my butt plugs by ease of access. This goes into like the medium because unfortunately I find a lot of times when I ram it this way, it gets caught. I got caught there. You could go this way, but that's less interesting. I always get caught. But yeah, it could go in the sentimental pile or the butt plug pile, whichever.
Yep. Yep, it could. Sam's Reptile Shack. What's up, man? Great piece, dude. Is that the only one that you have of those, or do you have more of those?
That's the only vomiting droids I have of that Boba Fett, man. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. The other one that I was thinking of was the Barrio Boba collab. That was dope. Yeah. AR. Johnny Marble said something about that at AR. He said that there was a green, I think there was a green one and a red one, and I bought the red one. So I don't know who got the green one, but yeah, those were dope.
See,
and
that's
a good one.
Yeah, I was gonna say this isn't a Grail, but this is probably one of the very first pieces that I got from Vomiting Droids.
That's crazy. I have a complete one of those where the face isn't like that, but I like yours. That is sick.
Yeah, the little pink and blue faces inside kissing.
Dude. All right. So let's see. This next one.
Yeah. You're such a teaser. Man, honestly, I will say this too. I bet you if I was lying in bed right now looking at you, like waiting, you're that guy, you're kind of like, am I coming in with this? I might. Or maybe I've got this, and maybe toss that to the side. Like you're
like, maybe it's all of them. Maybe it's all of them. Here's another one that it's not in the category, right? But it could be. It's not. The Jevaho 5.5 MF Doom 1 of 1 cloth cape. Yowza. This isn't what I'm going to show or talk about. I'm just saying it's dope. I love Jevaho 5.5 Master. This one right here is one of the dopest 5.5s that I own. Funny story about this one was he posted it and it wasn't for sale. And so I hit him up. I said, hey, you want to sell that? And he said, sure. And I bought it. And that's how that one came about. The other one that I probably won't talk about tonight, but this is probably my biggest one for as far as like trying to chase down a piece. This is my first Ram Man from Barbarian Rage. This one came through another collector, actually, that I replied to a story. They had this for sale, but I was looking for one of these for so freaking long and could not find them. I think there was one on eBay at one point. I missed out on that one. I didn't think that he was going to make any more of these, and I hadn't seen them. And so when this one came up, he's also got the bloody fists and the bloody feet. Dope. Not talking about that one. The one that I am going to talk about, though, is this guy. Is that Goro from Lab9. This came out of the Tour de Jour Button Masher show, I believe, which was last year. I mean, come on, man. I mean, of all the Lab9 pieces that I have, I think I had to grab this one. The articulation on this thing is just, it's everywhere. The magnetic work is insane. I mean, it's Lab9, man. But just the look on that thing, it's just so wild. It is such a cool piece.
It's maybe one of the coolest pieces that has been released in the indie toy scene, man. That thing's a fucker.
Yeah, it's so dope, dude. It's just, I mean, it's so perfect in every freaking way. The paint, everything, dude. It's just it's a wild piece. But Mortal Kombat, another that kind of hits the nostalgia nerve for me. Definitely growing up. But yeah, man, definitely, like I said, out of all my Lab9 pieces, I had to grab this one. Definitely a 1 of 1. Love it.
In my opinion, that piece right there is an example of where Lab Monkey #9 truly sits, man. I think his recent drop is fun. It's great cast, But shit like that Goro are when you really see Lab9 and R9 shine, and you realize like, God damn, there's nobody like you. There's just nobody doing it like that, man. Javaho maybe. Frank
But
and
I mean,
Lantern, different still. So
it's
different
still,
still.
yeah, dude, it's still different. And I mean, his is like I don't have any Frankenlander pieces, so I don't know. I'm sure they articulate, and I think they're probably all original articulation. If I had to guess, I would say that's what it is. This dude's magnet work is it's on another planet, dude. It is. It's so clean. It's just stupid clean. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that one, man. Porpoise says, yeah, that is a Grail of Grails. 8-Bit Mike says he missed out on the Rage, the Barbarian Rage Ram Man. Yeah, there's a few of those, man. I think that, if you were actually looking for one, I think there's some in the DKE shop right now. It's the slime one. It's the green one. And I think that one came out at a maybe PowerCon or something like that. And that's where I think they were being sold. So if you're looking for one, I think they're available there. Besides that, I know that he just did a release of those. He went back to the old colorway, and then he did what was the other one? Oh, it was the purple glow one. Yeah, that one was sick too. Yeah.
That was a goodie. Hey, dude, we've been kind of going rather fast at just kind of showing off all our girls. You were smart. You've had been such a showman with yours. I'm so jelly. I didn't fucking do that. Yeah, fuck you.
I'm just trying to squeeze in as many as I can.
See, and I was trying to be good. I was actually kind of like, no, I know he doesn't want me to go 4 hours. I should make sure I cut down my pieces.
Yeah, we're getting through it. It's been an hour and 10. We're good.
So what I was going to say is that anybody who has not chimed in, who's sitting in that chat there, if I have not gotten you, the next chat thing should basically just be, I'm here, put me on the wheel. And that way we'll make sure we get every single person on the wheel.
Were you saying that you want to do a giveaway now, or you were just saying for people to say something?
Why don't we? Let's do it. So I have been trying to grab you guys as we're going. If anybody's there, though, and I have missed you, aka even Johnny Marbles, for some reason I'm feeling like I did not catch you yet, homie. There you are. Yeah, you're the last one. All right, so far I've got Street Fighter, SPDX, Bureau of Print, Dre Azays, Folklorian, Death and Strawberries, Fixed Apple Toys, Fletcher Sandvik, Von Fake Name, Slightly Adriftlands, Rapaway, Zamiko, Grayskull Toys, Mr. Ordinary, Skilled One, AOA, Uncle Spank, Vomiting Droids, Retrozone, Dylan Clement, 8-Bit Mike, Carolina Coolcat, Strife 7, Stormical Station, Toys on Tap, Pocket Salsa, Recollection Toys, Kelly Wergo, Manuel Aguilera, Titty Bean Toys, Bubba Jock, Recycle Galaxy, Sadat H, Representatives, Reptile Shack, Northwest Atheist, Death and Strawberries, Johnny Marbles. If you have not heard your name called, or if you saw it twice, Death and Strawberries, you cheater, let me know. We'll get you on there. Sarah Bowes, what is up? If you're there, Kyle Kerwin's there. Yes, you are, right up above. If anybody hasn't, Kyle Kerwin, I believe, is it one left of your Ghost Falloose? So if anybody hasn't seen that yet, head over to Kyle Kerwin's page. He actually has one of those. There's a whole bunch of new drops, actually. Everybody's got those Halloween goods going on.
Yeah.
Dormico, you are here, good sir. Absolutely. I love the new facial hair. Love the toilets. Like to see the little baby in there. Grayskull Toys, what is going on? Grayskull, homie. Not that Drea Zays has said it's okay, but I'm just going to put it out there. Drea Zays and I are going to be linking up, I believe, on Wednesday. So if you would like to get in on that, homie, I know that you're actually relatively close to our area. Reach out in the DMs, man. We'll maybe try and slide you in there as well. Any other Ontarians hanging out? Oh, please feel free to reach out, man. Maybe we can link you guys up. Kyle says there's actually 2 of them. Porpoise, I don't see me on there. I might be blind. Or I just figured you would just cast up a version of whatever we would give away anyways. You can just cast it, man. You can just see what we're giving away and you can just make your own.
Perfect.
Alrighty. Ghost Blooms. There we go. Thank you so much. Alright, I think that I've gotten anybody who actually wants in on here. I'm going to give it 1 second more. Hey, B, what are we swinging for right now? Are they going for that Speed Skull? Oh.
This is going to be the Planetoid Combat Fighter from Barely Human. This is a 5-inch vinyl piece. Honda Baja. 5-inch soft vinyl action figure Planetoid Combat Fighter. Wave 3. If you're looking for any more of those from Barely Human, there is a lot of these. I don't know if there's any in stock right now, but there's been, gosh, dude, I don't know how many waves of this. There's been at least 5, probably way more than that. But cool, sell out every time.
Well, and personally, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and thank you again.
She was
for supplying these. kicked down just a truckload of stuff a while back. So thank you.
Absolute gem. Street Fight. I do have you right up at the top there. Good. All right, folks, I'm going to give it a spin. If you don't see yourself or you're crying later, please end up chiming in. I'll try and make sure I get you in there. Sadat, you know what? I don't think Sadat has actually won anything in a long-ass time, so it's good to see that, man.
Boom!
And we fuck it up every dang time. King Spider Toys.
Boom!
Right? I feel like we always fuck that up. We always actually say Kingdom of Spiders, but it's King Spider Toys. Oh, fuck's sakes.
Different account, the other one, right?
Exactly.
Like,
completely different maker. Completely different maker. King Spider Toys is that. Hit up that page. I'm even going to do this because I know we make that mistake every freaking time because we're just invalids and the names are so close. So that, congratulations. And anybody who's not following, go follow them.
And you know what, dude? You know what? This is what this is, dude. You know what, Sadat? You're getting a good package coming to you. You know why? The man just got married. Congratulations, dude. The karma wheel has spoken once again. Congrats to you, my friend. From Toyz Alive, this is coming your way. I'm going to throw some other stuff in the box for you, man. That's awesome. I think I do have your address already because I think he has won something a while ago back in the day. If you have a new address, shoot me that, please. Bam.
Bam. I love that, dude. Congratulations, homie. I hope that you like them. That's what I'm going to start telling people when they get married. Congratulations. I hope you like them for a long-ass time.
Hey, it happens, man. It happens. And I'm jealous of those people. I'll be dead. I'll be honest with you, man. But
yeah, finding a soulmate to spend your whole life with, you can smile and have a good old time with. Fuck you, Sadat.
Looking all happy and shit. Jeez Louise. How dare you?
Toys.
I think it's on you, buddy. Isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
because last time you made me go back to back. I had literally just squeezed one out, and you were like, go again. And I was like, okay.
Did I do that?
So now you got to go back to back. Let's see how you do it And for anybody out there, actually, fun little fact I saw the other day on television. If you actually have an orgasm through the prostate, it's more likely that you'll have less recovery time before the next erection. Fun fact. What you got over there, B?
And now you know. So this is my last one then. This is my last one.
Oh shit. Okay, well then wait. Somehow we've gotten mixed up then because I don't want you necessarily being on the last one. I'm somehow ahead of you then. So I'm going to show off this. For anybody who doesn't know this maker, this is Bootleg Sewer Mutant. Now the Brats are easily probably one of my favorite toys in the Toyz scene. And what I think almost breaks my heart the most is I think I fell in love with this sculpt more than the maker, potentially. I feel like the maker maybe at some point didn't feel like people were catching on to this piece and steam maybe got lost. I don't know. I love this piece, man. And admittedly, I've even told the maker recently, I don't think I was ever intended to have as many as I did. When this piece came out, I needed one in every fucking color, every shade of color. I needed bajillions of them. The problem is that then other people didn't. Then this maker stopped making. Then you meet people and they go, oh, fuck, man. I wish I'd grabbed some of those, but like it didn't click at the time, or I didn't know at the time, or I didn't see it back then. And now I realize it's like I was never meant to have like fucking 10 of these pieces. They are meant to go back out there. Now, where this piece for me actually becomes really important is that this maker actually has something that it's stuck with me for a long time. Now it's called Beating That Moss. And the reality is he found himself in a very pickly of a situation where basically it was death on one side, death for him and others on the other side. And as they're watching this big giant storm come out in the middle of the Arctic, he sees one of his other homies pull out this fucking thing of frozen moss from his jacket, and he starts just beating this moss, right? And he's looking at this guy thinking, like, you're fucking nuts, man. Like, we're gonna fucking die up here on this fucking cliff face with a storm coming in. What are you doing? And this guy just refused to leave it. He just kept beating that moss and beating that moss and beating that moss. And eventually he got all that ice and that frost out of that moss, and he lit that moss, and they were able to stay that night up there, and they survived that storm, and they were able to get the hunt, and therefore the people in the tribe didn't die. And so now it's one of those things where it's like you always fucking beat that moss. And if anybody knows Bootleg Sewer Mutant, and you see the mountain of a man that guy is, and you ever have a privilege of speaking to him, and you see how just calm and zen and wise this person can be for such a mountain of a dude, and the fact that he'd be putting this like little sculpt in this little tin can going out to the fucking Arctic during COVID times, and the rest of us bitch about our lives and trying to get art done amongst everything else. This dude was literally out in the Arctic and found time to sculpt these up and come back and do it. And then when I meet this guy, he gives me the fucking mold for this. And then where this is even more important is that if you look at the backside of this, anybody who knows molds, you know you can chop up your molds and you can pour them in to actually make your next mold. Bootleg Sewer Mutant back in the day, when I told him how, as a collector, molds mean so much, he says, Crumbs, dude, you don't get it. For a lot of us, we have to chop that up. It's a cost that we just can't afford to lose. We have to chop it up and reuse it. For a maker to understand that this is literally something that they might need to chop up and put into a mold in order to make a new mold of that and be able to save on materials and say, no, I want you to have that. That means more to me than just giving me the mold. That's a symbol of like, not only is he retiring the mold and he wants you to have it, but like this could have gone to a new mold. This could have been used to save him some funds and he wanted you to have it, man. And like, admittedly, as somebody who's like, I might pour some resin down the line, but I'll probably never make a mold. Molds are really impressive to me. I find molds are just really sexy. I find them very impressive. And when I look at like this negative and I see just like how that is in there, even he has said like this mold shouldn't work. It realistically should not work, but it does. And like, look at that tail cavity down in there, man. There's just something so sexy about a fucking mold when you can see all those little cavities in there. Like this makes that toy.
That's an original sculpt from him, right?
That's an original sculpt from him, yeah, man. And you know what? Originally, when he did these, he even said it. The reality is that yes, Kyle will make molds for you, and he does offer that service. So if anybody's looking for molds by Kyle, he will do some. But what I really like is Bootleg Sewer Mutant told me a long time ago. Brats, when they're by themselves and they're not in a big pack, they're painted. So I mean, painted brats for whatever reason, they're solos. In clans, they're not painted. So if anybody's got a painted brat out there and you've got one, it's generally because painted brats live solo. What you got over there?
That's it. That's a great piece, dude. Mine came in a set too. I have one yellow and one purple. And that's another one, dude, that I knew that you were gonna pick one of those. But that's another one for me, dude, where, and I think you hit it right on the head. When it first came out, I saw those and it didn't really do anything for me. And that was before I knew Bootleg Sewer Mutant as a person. And then I'll never forget when he was on a show that you used to do, the Creative Corner, I believe is what it was, right? And he had told a story on there about people in the toy community, in this community specifically, and just kind of how we all ended up here, and we're kind of roughly doing the same thing. But it was, dude, it was one of those ones that I'll never ever forget. And that was kind of my first introduction to that dude. And from that day on, I was like, okay, I need like everything that this dude does. You know what I mean?
He is literally somehow like the Goku Buddha. He's just this jacked, big-hearted fucker. He could easily bend you in half and snap you in two, but never would.
Super nice dude, man. Super nice guy. Interesting guy.
Huge dick,
from what I heard.
Not that he asked me specifically not to go there, but he's one of the few makers I've met, and literally the whole time we were hanging out, I was watching it just drag behind us.
Like a tail.
That's where the Goku thing comes from. That's what I meant. He's kind of like Goku, big because of that big giant long distance. What you got over there?
I was just reading the chat. Sarabu's talking about Kyle's molds. All right, last one for me, and it's a Healy piece, of course. It's not this Healy piece, which I just got, and I don't know too much about. Yeah. So I need to have a conversation with him about this one and just see what's up. But anyways, just got this one. Not the one I'm talking about, though. This guy, I'm not going to talk about this one either, but that's a one-off. That was an extremely hard paint app for him, from what he told me. That is dope. I usually try to post that right on 4th of July. Another one of his that would probably go up there, but isn't, is the 6-piece original wrestler set, SWWF. This was an edition of, I want to say 14 or 10, and I believe this is number 9 on the box. Not talking about that one. Another one-off from him is this cake pan resin Boba Fett. It says Healy right there. Bam. This thing is UV active like crazy. This is something just completely out of the ordinary from the other stuff that I have from him. So, yeah.
Every time I see that piece, I know it's gorgeous. That's a piece. I would be rolling all my weed on that. That would be my weed tray. Sorry. That thing is gorgeous, but yeah, that'd be my weed tray.
Yeah, not using it for that, but it's a dope one, man. The UV on that's nuts. The one that I will show, and it is one that I showed before, but I think when I showed it, it was like at the very end of the show, and it was probably 3 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast. And so I don't know how many people saw it. I have never done a post on this one, but this one is, so this is the Healy Made and Skinner mother piece. It's huge. It's 12 by 24, so 1 foot by 2 foot. Skinner on the backer, of course. That resin,
stupid.
Yeah, the resin piece is large too, man. I would say that's probably 10 inches on that figure. What's really cool about that figure, I think, too, is the legs. If you look at the legs are actually from Strawberry Shortcake. And I remember he told me that, which I thought was really cool because my sister used to really be into Strawberry Shortcake and have all those figures. There's a story on the back that is extremely long from Skinner about mother. And if you read this, there's a comic book of this as well. But this is the figure. So as far as I know, there was only a couple of these made. I think Skinner has one. There may be another one out there. This one I got from Healy personally, and I don't know if this was his only copy, or if this was an extra that he had. I know that he was moving his studio a while back and came across this, and it just kind of came up in conversation at one point, and he offered, and I bought. But what I would really like to do with this someday is probably frame it somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do that. It's going to have to be some sort of custom job, but yeah, that's it, man. It's a hard one to post because I want to get the right background on it. And there's a lot that goes into this one, man. There's a long story about it. There's so many people that are involved with this, man. You have specific people that did the blister, specific people that did the blister fabrication, the blister design, the layout. But ultimately, he said that the size was kind of the determining factor in any more of these being made. They were just too damn big. It's crazy because the blister too, I don't know if you can even tell, man, but it's rigid right there on the bottom. So it's definitely a custom deal.
That's gorgeous. Is the blister a resin casted, or is that actually a plastic vacuum formed blister?
No. Yeah, it's plastic.
Beauty.
Yeah.
I think the only time that we've even gotten a little sampler of that might have been when we had Healy Made on. You might have maybe brought it up, or at one point, and maybe it was so big in behind you that one of us might have been like, hey, the fuck is that monolithic piece behind you?
Yeah, it's God, dude, I can't remember if we talked about it or not. But it's crazy, dude. You know what's funny is in here somewhere, and I'll have to ask Dave, man. He told me at one point, but in this drawing somewhere, is Healy made, is the word Healy made. And I've stared at this thing, dude, and can't find it. He told me at one point, and I found it right away. I was like, oh, that's cool. But that was a while back, and I can't remember where it is. But I mean, Skinner, shoot, dude, that dude's art on its own is just, it's mind bending. It's really, really crazy. Somebody was talking about the House of Gog pieces in there. Those things are phenomenal. Skinner Safubi, Eddie said he got, that's dope. It's just, yeah, dude, his work is insane. The stuff that he did with Alter Toys, those are dope.
Have you ever watched any like the Skinner content, like just outside of his art, some of his Skinner content?
Outside of his art, no, not really. Just kind of what I've seen at some of the local shows. He's a local guy to us, or I'm sorry, to me. He's like in the Oakland area, which is why Fletch has hung out with him several times, and he does these shows, kind of smaller shows in the Oakland area. So that's the only thing I've really seen that's where he kind of talks about that. Go on, tell me more.
I think he's an ingenious, man. I think he's actually really, really clever. I think it's really funny. There's a great episode actually that he does for one of his drops. He's done a couple little like movies and stuff, and he's actually working on a full stop motion production right now as well. Yeah, absolutely genius. And admittedly, probably one of the funniest videos I've seen. If anybody has seen it, I believe it might have been a Wonder Goblin collaboration he was doing at one point with the King Nug. And literally, dude, like something about that video, like he's sitting there on the phone talking, just being like, "Oh, it's fucking genius. This could be like the coolest thing anybody's ever fucking seen. I'm a mastermind." And like, it's literally Adult Swim level of humor. He's a comical guy. I like that, man.
Yeah, dude. That stop motion. He did a Kickstarter for that, I think.
He did have a Kickstarter going recently, yeah. They're on the home stretch, man. And those kind of projects take a lot of time and a lot of money. So they're on that home stretch. And he does, like, I feel like he's one of those artists who's been around long enough. His friends are in big places too, right? Like he is friends with Buddy from fucking Workaholics.
Cool. I did not know that.
Cool.
Cool.
Then the New York art scene, like the Cali art scene and stuff, like, anyways. Boom. Dylan Clement knows what's up. That Budfoot video is great. Dude, even the fact that, like, for some reason in one part of the video, he's walking on the phone and, like, the cord just keeps on going and, like, it's bending around everywhere. And for some reason, even that shit just gets me. It's very surrealism. It's good.
Street Fight says Unbox Industry has a bunch of Skinner stuff. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, and admittedly, Unbox Industry, man, I feel like Unbox Industry gets kind of underrated because I think people automatically lump them in as being, like, a commercial brand. Like, it's almost like they've reached that notoriety at this point that people almost think that they're, like, a box store, but they're not. They got a lot of things in them.
Yeah. Painting with Skinner made me get serious years ago, from Eddie. Yeah, dude, the Skinner stuff, dude, you look at it and that's the kind of stuff where you kind of stare at it more and more and you're like, God, dude, how time consuming. Not only is it to paint that stuff, but to draw it. The detail in it is just, and some of these pieces are, they're massive, dude. Like you look at the shirts, dude, I keep on meaning to order some shirts, dude. His shirts, they're so dope, man. So dope.
Reminds me of some of the old like Attack or like Black Dahlia Murder artwork we'd see back in the day. Like that just super like imposed colors, the hard black squiggle lines through and
work, for sure. Yeah.
Hey yo, last grailer that I've got over on my side here, I'm gonna quickly show off for you guys. And this one just came in today, so that's kind of why I ended up being on like the top of my grails. Trash Joy Studios, man. So for any of you guys that know, he's been doing these guys, the Mana Minions. Now, I know Fletch does the Mana Minions as well. I know that Hella Radical does the Mana Minions as well. I'm just going to put it out there. It's not that I'm obsessed with the Mana Minion, a.k.a. like the Shambling Mound. I'm not necessarily obsessed with the DFC Shambling Mound. I'm obsessed with the Trash Joy Studio Shambling Mounds. I really like his Shambling Mounds. So this one here actually would have been a Mana Minion that he did originally. It was the Inkwell. He also ended up doing the Mountain Dew one. Oh, Mountain Dew guy. Now, what I find funny about the Shambling Mound is originally I did not know what a Shambling Mound was, but I've always loved Swamp Thing. I didn't know why I was obsessed with these pieces that he made, but at this point, I probably have about 20 of the Shambling Mounds by Trash Joy Studios because I'm just absolutely obsessed with them. And any color and every color that he has, I'm always like, yo, man, I need more Shambling Mounds. To the point that even at one point, I was like, yo, man, paint me some Shambling Mounds. And he was like, all right, yeah, okay, I'll throw some paint in some Shambling Mounds. And then today he randomly tosses me a whole bunch of fucking Shambling Mounds. And I'm like, hot damn, dude, I love shambling mound. I would like all of the shambling mounds ever. And in those shambling mounds, there's even this dope ass 2-part guy that didn't settle properly that I'm going to be playing around with.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And actually, yeah, I don't know how. Oh, yeah. Well,
Oh,
well.
oh, is that magnetic or it's just like that?
So this one here, he let me know it came in 2 pieces, but he was like, I think you'll still be able to do something cool with it. You're damn right I will. And then here's where it gets extra special. And we've talked about this. This is that shit, man, that like you can't expect it, you can't know it's coming. And somebody that you've known for like 3 years suddenly is just kind of like, hey, Crumbs, dude, enjoy. What in the fuck? Considering that, like, this is one of my favorite pieces out there, and Trash Troy ended up tossing me that mold when he needed to remake it. And this mold is weird, dude. If you're watching this, I love that you've got that arm in there, because if I'm being totally honest with anybody who's doing the mana minions, aka the Shambling Mound, a lot of the times you guys are fucking the hands, which, fine, whatever, cool, it happens. The mold is the mold is the mold is the mold. But I like that his mold has that arm in there, because his hands are always the cleanest that I've seen from this Shambling Mound mold, man. And like I was saying it earlier, molds are my jam. They make me horny. The fact that for some reason this fucking headpiece has this extra slice across there, dig it. Dig it. Beauty mold, man. Thank you. Stupidly cool mold. And yeah. I love that piece. That just came in, man. And like honestly, what I love about this piece probably more than anything is, one, yes, the Shambling Mound is basically like a Swamp Thing bootleg, but also like the DFC is originally actually like the company that did the Shambling Mound, and they based it off of the illustration that's in the Dungeons and Dragons monster manual that would have been done for the Shambling Mound, but D&D didn't actually have a Shambling Mound figure at the time. And so then basically DFC was able to keep their Lava Man figure because it technically did not represent any of the Dungeons and Dragons figures that were out there at the time. So they actually ended up being able to still do that DFC one. The molds being Hella Poor, old one from Killer Bootlegs. Yeah, exactly. So you have got Killer's old one, and I know Hella's Poor in those as well. Absolutely, man. And I'll be totally honest with you, I don't own any of Killer Bootleg's work, so I don't know what his mold work is like, but I like the casts that come out of this mold, and I've never touched a Killer Bootleg cast, so I don't know what his work looks like out of that mold.
Yeah, dude, and that's a guy that's been. I'm just kind of thinking some of my older stuff that I have from him. Yeah, the Ewok zombie.
The Ewok zombie is a goodie, man. And admittedly, too, one that actually comes up every now and then is actually going to be his Frankenstein on the Boba Fett body, dude. Every now and then we see that one pop up, too. And what I find is so fucking funny about that figure, actually, is there's somebody else who did a figure back in the day, going back a year ago now, and they just so happened to use a Star Wars body in the Frankenstein head, and somebody else was like, you might want to double check with Killer. And I'm sitting over here being like, you know what? Neil Ewing actually said it the fucking best, actually. He and I butt heads a little bit, but he said it the fucking best. Since when do bootleggers ask other bootleggers for fucking permission? It's a bootleg.
Right, dude. 100%. We've talked about that before on, people owning stuff, especially people that are like in this scene. It's almost like an oxymoron. It's like, wait a minute, but what are you doing? There is one of those out there. I know that piece that you're talking about. There is one of those out there available on one of the sites that sells indie toy stuff. It's been there for a while. You might be able to find them on eBay, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, those are cool. And is that bigger than a 3.75? I think that's a larger figure, isn't it? Or is it 3.75?
The Frank Boba?
Yeah.
I think it looks bigger, but it's just because he looks kind of odd, elongated.
Lanky maybe?
Yeah. That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the Frankenstein head just sits on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully become number one. Swampys is number 2 bootleg fig behind Boba Fett. That's pretty impressive, man.
Oh, man. So what do we got next, man? You want to do another giveaway, or you want to jump into
Let's do a giveaway.
What you got?
Let's do a giveaway, and then we'll hop into some tabbies. Some tabby-doos.
Giveaway. So this one, let's do the E2K gift card, and then we'll save the speed skull for last.
Daniel Anthill, man, I'm sorry if I missed you on the wheel there, homie. I did see you pop into the chat, so I thought I'd grabbed you on the wheel, but I'm so sorry if I missed you there, dude. So I'll make sure I'll get you on there right now. I am so sorry, man, but we do have 2 other giveaways happening tonight. I'll get you on there. And I do still have some of your pieces. I've got them in a Destructo box. Is that what it's called? Those white 10-pound protective boxes. I've put all your guys in there, so as we're doing them, I can reach into that box. It's right down there, man. So I don't want you ever thinking that I don't know that I've got some Daniel Anthill Acid 9 to send out into the world. And admittedly, one of your little mini dudes I sent off to somebody who collects killer work. So I made sure he got one with a package going out recently. Boom, boom, boom. Share screen. I'm going to show you guys this wheel. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this wheel. Look at this little wheel. So anybody who I've added on here is actually going to be Calcro and Retro Resin Porpoise, Monster Vat Toys, Resin Blood, and Daniel Anthill. If you've been joining us anytime after that and you do not see your name or you weren't in part of the last giveaway, please let us know. Johnny Marbles, I've got you on there. Good. Jazzwiz, you're there. Jazzwiz, earlier I went to copy and paste you into the chat and I accidentally copy and pasted what you said instead. And it made me laugh when I pasted it in there and all of a sudden, yeah, anyways. And yes, Zymoco mold release spirit. It tastes fucking great, man. Get that shit in your veins. Crumbs or Dr. Ruth. Alrighty, guys. Nobody is chiming in. Daniel Anthill was the last one to say, hey, Crumbs, stop being a moron. Get me on that fucking wheel. B. What do we got in these boys on this wheel here tonight?
This is the E2K gift card.
E2K gift card.
Yeah, we'll do the speed school last. But this is $25 to E2K. Whoever wins, please send us your email address.
Secretly, B gives me all your email addresses and I sell them to other companies. That's how we funded this shit.
That's where those things come from. It's Crumbs. That makes sense.
We're gonna give it the old spinny do here. Who's gonna win? Toyz on tap, aka Abe, aka the Furby Man.
Nice. I think we do have his email, but Abe, if you want to hit me up, man, with what email that should go to, let me know, man. And you should get a E2K gift card probably tomorrow.
Now, B.
Yes.
When we were showing all of our Grails, I was fortunate enough that I could run away and you had no idea that I was basically using the washroom every single time you showed a Grail. But now we're out of Grails. Well, to be fair, I brought this bucket. I just don't know how to really get to the edge of the seat, and I'm kind of nervous if I start going and I unmute. You're all going to hear it anyways. So, I mean, I did have a moment where I ran and grabbed this bucket for this exact reason.
Oh, man. You need a break?
I heard you have another Grail. I heard you actually have another Grail to show.
I'm sure I can find one.
See, humans, this is why you don't do live. Anytime that you've seen something on live TV, please understand, those guys have an ostomy and a colostomy hooked up, and it's all just happening. I always worry, too, when I run to the washroom, I'm not going to unmute myself, and you're just going to all start hearing just...
Found one. It was right behind me. So this one is the 8-bit mic piece. This one, I think, was my first 8-bit mic piece. I had seen those and they were never up for sale or anything. So I had kind of heard through somebody that Toxic Fumes Toys had a bunch of 8-bit mic pieces. Well, sure enough, I had ordered a piece from Toxic Fumes and he threw one of these in here. So this is my first 8-bit mic piece, but dope as usual. Colors are super sick. The other thing that I like about this guy, like, I don't know what he has in his hand, what he's throwing. It looks like, I don't know, a cylinder. It's probably a bomb or something like that, but no guns in this one. We've talked about that before. So this would be acceptable in my house as a kid. But 8-Bit Mike, 8-Bit Mike pieces, I mean, any of those. And I think it's not just the pieces with 8-Bit Mike, how original and kind of cool those are, but it's also kind of who 8-Bit Mike is and kind of his whole message about, the scene and how pieces get to other people. It's,
somebody one day, somebody said to me, I don't know how I feel about 8-Bit Mike pieces. So that's fine. They go, I don't know why you and B care so much. I said, that's fine. Ask him for a piece. What? I said, ask 8-Bit Mike for a piece. See if you can get a piece. Then you'll understand why they mean so much to us. You don't just get an 8-Bit Mike piece, And I wasn't going to, this one was close, man. Admittedly, this one was in my runner-up for Grailers. And when I saw what you grabbed there, I'm going to show this off real quick. This is one of those weird-ass situations where just like yourself, Toxic Fumes Toys let me know. I've got some 8-Bit Mike. I said, all right, well, I want some 8-Bit Mike. The fact that this is Michelangelo in this block, Michelangelo is my absolute favorite Ninja Turtle. What are the fucking odds that 8-Bit Mike casts a Michelangelo in this big giant block, leaves it with Toxic Fumes Toys, and Toxic Fumes Toys gets it over to me? Yeah, man. 8-Bit Mike pieces are special. They're interesting. And in my opinion, I'm one of those very few people who likes to call our world art. He is the most art shit in my collection, in my opinion. The commentary that it makes even on Toys, in my opinion, when we think about the fact that some of these pieces that he casts in this shit are highly sought after pieces that you guys really, really want, and some of you are selling on eBay for like thousands of fucking dollars and shit, and he's kind of like, it's like, yeah, that's some lowbrow data art shit happening, man. Ooh, BD, Porpoise. I don't want VD now, later, ever.
Vomit. Later, dude. Yeah. And that's you know what I noticed about this one too, man? Look at that cool little swirl on the top there, that little purple and white swirl. Anyways,
see, this isn't even part of that block, but I always just put it on there like a head. Because in my opinion, it looks like a little hat. It's like, just
yeah.
There you go.
There you go. But another one where I think you could take any of his pieces and you could put those into a bunch of different categories. You know what I mean?
1,000%.
I don't know how you do that.
Sorry. Batting 1,000 tonight, man. We got tabs. We got tab galore for you guys.
Yes, we do.
We're gonna rock through those. And we might actually make that 2.5-hour mark this evening. What? All right, where are the tabs? I know I've got the tab page. They're right there. So just share screen, tabs. First one we're going to be looking at here tonight is actually going to be this Cinema Wraith. A Cinema Wraith we were looking at actually the other day when we were looking at some of their vampire pieces. They've got a drop happening with sculpting wax. So DM if you want a monster brick before Halloween. So he's actually brewing up some of his own wax right now for anybody who wants some. Sound is a big old brick. Oh, big old brick. I'm going to get me that brick. Sorry. Anyways, fuck. Cinema Wraith, Last Resort Toys. Too much coffee apparently, man. That hot cocoa before the coffee just... I wanted to pull up Last Resort Toys because he's been throwing a bunch of seconds up into his store recently. We were even talking earlier, me and B, about how some of these pieces here, they're going for like 40 bones down in his store. They're like a 10-inch vinyl. You can do fun shit like it. Oh, shit.
Dude, I was going to say, I think next week you need to talk about yours.
You can paint this stuff. Yeah. Dirty cheap vinyls, you can paint those up. A lot of fun. He's also got some Halloween collabs going on here, but these are going to be the Kenner paint app variants. So, of course, anybody who's familiar with the Kenner ones that dropped, he's kind of doing a little homage to those. Lab Monkey number 9, ended up doing a quick, I don't know where the fuck this is coming from today, Wolf Alushi. Now, I had to actually go into this. Now, the Alushi, for anybody who doesn't know, it seemed, and I'm probably getting it wrong, it seems like it was a little person who used to dress up in a costume and fight wrestlers in like the 70s. So I'm assuming wrestlers would basically like punt this little fucker around the arena. And so he has done like a little Wolfman version of the Alushi. Now, as we were saying earlier, typically Lab Monkey number 9 pieces, he'll do like one big drop, B grabs it or Porpoise grabs it and it's gone. Right now, he actually has these in his store for 30 bones. Oh, and they're sold out, so go fuck yourselves, anybody. But if you did want to actually grab a Toy Ronto shirt, you could always go to the LM9 Threadless and get on that. See? Toronto
Yep.
t-shirt. Dude, what's funny is I literally checked his big cartel for those before we aired, so those sold out tonight.
Also, keep in mind that $22.95, that's Canadian prices.
Well, yeah, that was crazy to me, man. Admittedly, when somebody mentioned me last night, like, I got my first Lab9 piece, I ran over and I was like, oh, 30. Yeah, no shit. When are you going to get a casted piece like that for 30 bones?
Yeah,
That being
dude,
said,
straight up.
45 CAD shipped. Shipped, man. So that's something I would say for any American guys watching Canadian drops. Pay attention to if the shipping is in, because 45 Canadian shipping in, I promise you, almost every single package that comes in from the America, like from the States, is about 30 to 40 Canadian. So homie's basically asking for about a $5 return on these toys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice glow on those, dude. Wow.
So Von Fake Name.
Also,
Yes.
Von Fake Name, we will Von Fake Name sent some giveaways for us, so we'll take a look at those next week. Extremely generous.
I'm gonna make him feel awkward for a moment too. I let him know, dude. I'm seeing you going to the gym, and you were looking healthy, homie. You were looking healthy. Look at this, boys. Not saying he looked happy and healthy before, but wait a minute here. This gentleman here is now this man here.
Oh, look at that guy.
Congratulations, man. I hope you feel fucking good. That's the part that matters to me the most. I hope you feel fucking good, dude. Oh, that's what hard work.
He says, hey, I know that guy.
Feral Foundry and Double Casket Toys. You shared this with me and it caught me off guard. Feral Foundry usually tells me what he's up to. I did not know this was happening.
Yeah, cool, huh?
Cool, huh?
I was surprised to see that collab, dude. I didn't know. I mean, I don't know where Double Casket Toys is, I guess is why I was surprised.
I'm going to assume UK.
Exactly, right? Well, when you see that collab, you're like, yeah, what the hell?
Well, okay, but also pricing for UK, like let's be real, 20 euros. We don't see too much on that.
Serpent egg. Did you see that one?
I did, yeah.
What the hell? That's trippy.
A double casket toys. Damn, stupid me. And what's
collab with who? It said double cast collab. Collab with who?
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, Akami. Okay.
Oh, why does that sound familiar?
Man, I didn't know he was doing doing collabs like that.
See, and this is one of those situations as well where it could just be Acme Toys, or we can be super white and call it Akame Toys. Akame Toys. I like doing that. I like trying to make things sound way more impressive and like cultured than maybe they are. Like those Raijin, and you guys are like Ragin. Oh yeah. Dead Boy, Halloween Spooky Boogies. Oh, Burgies, sorry. Well, Spooky Boogies, Spooky Burgies, whatever. Hey, that being said, did you end up hopping on that Science Patrol fucking Cranston drop that happened like a week or two ago? Or did you miss out?
I did not. You know what?
I basically asked just because I wanted to know.
I know.
Yeah.
And you know what? And it's so stupid, dude. I knew that the shipping was going to be a lot, but the shipping on that one is identical to the piece. And I was just like, and then I just kind of blew it off.
That makes a difference, though. That makes a difference, actually. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. And because that can oddly make a difference. There was a collaboration not too long ago, actually. And the person ended up their site had it. Shipping was almost like 50 Canadian. And I let them know. I was like, you know what? Your shipping might be a little off because nobody charges that. And the response back was just, yeah, shipping's crazy, eh? And you know what I say to that? Yeah, it is. I guess I won't be buying one of your fucking toys. You're doing okay. You have enough people buying your shit for that absurd fucking shipping price that you can't be bothered to double check.
Yeah.
You're doing good. You're doing good, man.
Yeah, man. I never really understood that, like trying to make money on the shipping. I mean, I get it.
This weird fear. There's definitely artists that lose money, and I fucking hate that. There's a lot of artists that are almost kind of like, oh, it was 30 shipping and it ends up being like 35, 40, and they say nothing. But yeah, there's absolutely those dudes out there that are kind of like, shipping to Canada, I don't know, man, $70. And you're like, you're a fucking idiot, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't even cost that much, man. Yeah,
Well,
it
it's some
just
of them,
it
it bugs me when, not that I think I'm in anybody at all, but like, okay, prime example. There's a dude out there that makes these Swamp Thing busts, and every now and then somebody goes, "Hey, Crumbs, check this Swamp Thing bust." And you go, "Yeah, about 3 years ago, I tried buying one of those." And you know what the maker kept saying? "I don't know what's happening, man. Shipping between America and Canada, it's just fucked up right now." No, it's not. I was buying fucking toys from Americans all that year, asshole. Figure it out.
yeah. Um, and that's the thing, dude. Like, I'll pay for shipping. Like, I'll pay what it costs. I'll even pay a little bit more. But I don't want someone to try to double up on shipping. And it's like, dude, if like I got to pay
Who
for
does
you to
that
like,
help?
yeah, if I got to pay for you to take it down, to the post office, I could see that. But don't make me the guy who pays for it all.
Well,
You know what I mean?
the gas to get down to the post office and the bubble wrap
Right.
and the cardboard box I put it in. And then
Right.
meanwhile, we've definitely heard of people out there that they're kind of like, "Oh yeah, I got this piece and it came in a cereal box and the piece was destroyed."
Been there,
Anyway,
done that, dude. Been there, done that.
but and then you know what though? And then we've got ballas, just straight up ballas like Yuckamuck,
Yep.
doing a big old drop like this, each one $12. Boom. Second wave. Congratulations, man. I'm glad to see that you did well on those. There's a yellow and an orange, it looks like, left. If anybody would like in on those, get them. Get them. Yakamoto's a good guy.
Yep.
Boom. Plastic Vomit Customs, we've had them come in a couple times. I wanted to actually show off this recent drop, man. I would imagine we're probably going to get a couple more of these come Christmas, but this was a dope ass fucking drop on those, man.
Damn. I did not see those.
Look, what's trippy to me is like I don't know if they ended up laying down a sticky on that or if they painted that, but tight.
It looks like paint to me, dude. Honestly,
I'm with you. It looked almost like, but you know what? Whatever it is, killer.
Yeah. There was another one that he just released too, the Death Trooper, which was dope. I think that was in the top right corner, but it was black with he's got like a skull on his chest.
There's a Death Trooper, and there's been a couple of them, man.
Oh, you know what? Okay, I was thinking of something else. I'm tripping.
There we go. I was looking for the same thing as you. Yeah.
Skull Trooper. My bad. I said the wrong thing.
No. How dare you not memorize the names of every single figure
I know.
there?
Moron.
Fucking noobs. Plastic Vomit.
Dude, you know what I can't wait for him to come out with, dude? I was talking to him about it the other day. I want one of those snow troopers, just all white, dude. Like all white with like a certain color eyes or something like that. Just like maybe a couple small little details on there, but an all white one, dude. I think that would look fucking crisp.
I'd have to agree. Drunk Toys. 516 followers. Why? Pourquoi?
Yo, what the heck?
Boom. Sorry, live chat. I've been missing what you guys are saying in here. I'm a freaking idiot. Porpoise signing off. Good night, homie. Folklorian, what up? Grayskull, what up? Don't think they were for sale. Fuck you, Jazzwiz. Stormy Smelly is beautiful. I believe she painted it. Boom. Dope. Folklorian, thank you for that. I'm going with Stormy Smelly. I think Stormy Smelly is better than Stormy Skelly anyways. Boom. Drunk Toys, prototype 77 on the robot Shinigami marked, the initial endeavor by humans to construct. That's a fun piece too. Dead Rabbit Lives Matter. Light in there. Yeah, it was Toys. I saw this. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Ooh, what is that?
Sculpt, man. Production samples are in and they're perfect. This is the blank version of the ghost version, crystal clear. There'll be a third color featured. Yeah, what a beautiful sculpt, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm assuming vinyls. The painted prototype.
God dang.
Yeah, I'd fuck that. Hello. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you see that back there?
Yeah, it's nice to see where he's like showing with, who he's showing with. Oof.
Yeah.
That's a sculpt though, man. King Kraju. And only at 484.
Wow, that's crazy.
But those are toys. Night Pocket Salsa. Boom, boom. He knows. He's like, there's only one giveaway left, and I want to win it, so I gotta go to bed. Boom. Oh yeah, meow. Dude, these are fun. So I went right to the Halloween one. Boink. But look at this, dude. Stackable cats. I don't know why. I just like it. I can tell Porpoise is over there giggling right now as well. But yeah, like they've got all these guys here. These remind me of almost like a Hallmark or a Walmart style, like Christmas ornament, Halloween decoration.
Yeah.
These remind me more of like a Gashapon machine toy you'd get back in the day, like the totem poles that stack.
You nailed it with a Hallmark toy, though, bro. That's definitely something you'd see at Hallmark, like that one right there. I could see that on the shelf at Hallmark.
Well, and admittedly, if back in the day I was living with my parents, my mother came home with one of these, I'd be like, "Yo, get 10 more." Oh yeah, meow. Tokyo Town. Dude, we've talked about this with vinyl before. It's crazy to me how small a number of followers for somebody who's got this many pieces. Now, if anybody's familiar actually with the Ultra Super Kaiju, that's what this little Godzilla is probably going to remind you of, and this little elephant guy back here.
What does it say what size those are?
No, but again, if it's going to be anything close to the Super Kaiju dinos, I'm going to go with around 4 inches.
Okay, those are dope.
Now, if they're not 4 inches, I would put them at closer to about 2, just based on like Safubi sizings. Almost like a finger puppet.
Sparky monster.
Add some sparkle to your life. I need sparkle in my life.
That's cool.
Speaking of sparkle, you see that big fucking 8-bit mic white fucking arch that he did with the white sparkles recently? Quo Baddies.
Oh yeah, the white glow. Yeah, absolutely, dude. That was sick. With the little with the shelf coming out.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Dope.
Quo Vadis toys as well. So normally I'm seeing a lot of pieces like this here, or like some bootleggy, Mexican bootleggy looking stuff, but it looks like we might be getting some vinyl. I feel like a lot of times when we see shit like this, it's usually in preparation for a vinyl cast. Maybe he'll end up resin casting.
Yeah.
But I mean, this guy's been chilling. He's making them. Little legs going there. Okay, yeah, we would have seen him for the Drock show. Germany. Disfigured. We're just shooting through these now. Oh, I like that.
Oh, I didn't see that pumpkin head on there. I see. Original sculpt work, it looks like.
Well, it's always so hard to tell, man. Like, I love these fucking paint ups as well, but like, original? I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think those. I think fuck, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I never know anymore. Wisconsin Custom Craft. Again, 360 followers. Why? Oh, yeah. And we have pulled them up before because we were looking at these actually like maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yep, that is true.
Olam David. I believe this one actually comes from Street Fight SPDX. We're in Mexico City. Vegarlic Studio. I don't know. Oh, but yeah, okay, again, the fuck, man. 10 inches? A 10-inch vinyl prototype off the hop, and you're chilling with 337. Yeah, makes sense.
Man.
Personally, if I made an IG account and I had 337 followers, my first thought would also be, I need to get my toys out there in physical ASAP.
Where at the very top of their account, it said something about Italy. What was that?
Italy. It literally says Italy. I'm assuming that's where they're based.
It said something about Italy. What was it? Italy. Yep, that's it. That's what I saw.
Ooh, he might be Italian.
But yeah, dude. So that's a trip, man. And here's what trips me out, dude. It's like I've talked to other people and they say that they want to get into vinyl and they want to do the stuff to vinyl. And then they talk about how hard it is to get into vinyl and how hard it is,
Nobody will
to
share their maker. Nobody will share their producer. Nobody will tell me how to do the joints. Nobody wants to. Fuck
yeah,
off.
and that it's expensive and that, they don't know if anybody's going to buy it. And then here's somebody who's making these massive pieces with 330, followers. Now, maybe they have a big following on another platform, maybe, but I'm just saying, like, damn, dude, I don't think the number of followers or any of that stuff should come into play. You want to make it, just make it.
That's the difference. That's the difference. When we talk about intent sometimes, that's the difference. Some makers don't understand that when you're talking about intent, and they're like, well, what do you mean? I wanted to make this and I wanted to sell a whole bunch of them. And I'm like, yeah, where's the soul? Where's the heart? What was the intent here?
Yeah.
To make some money or to make something cool that was in your brain? It just is what it is, man. And I don't know. I feel like I've just got like a fucking wedgie and a half up my brain tonight, so I don't want to be the negative Nancy anymore.
Deadwoods, officially licensed by Topps. What is that?
So this is another one, Street Fight SPDX. Admittedly, they're going to be like a toy company of making tiny little fingerboards, I believe, out of real wood, collaborating with toy companies.
Gotcha.
So, for instance, like the Bogland's little boards, right? But I believe they're fingerboards.
I see. Yeah, I saw Bogland's and
maybe they're real boards?
Skate decks? I don't know.
They might be real skate decks.
Yeah. I know Delicious Again Peter was getting into skate decks there for a minute. I don't know if he's still doing that. He was. Yeah.
The universe is something weird, man. I watched Mighty Ducks 2 the other day, and what does Delicious Again Peter pop up today? Fucking Bart Simpson with the Mighty Ducks fucking mask right on there. I was like, okay, are we all just craving D2 right now? What is this?
What's the name of the kid that I think he was in one? I don't know if he was in two. The goalie. Yeah.
Goldberg.
Yes, exactly. I saw you say it. So yeah, dude, like you've seen like the story of him, right? Like, kind of his downfall, and he got really addicted to meth. And oh yeah, dude, he was on meth for a long time, and he was just, dude, he looks like a shell of himself, dude. Just like the worst of the worst, bro. He just looked really, really bad. And the funny thing is that's probably about an hour north of me in a little town called Oroville. It's just north of Sacramento, and he wound up there for some reason. But since then, he's kind of cleaned himself up, and he's on the sober path, which is good for him. I just saw something online about him the other day. They're doing some sort of reunion for Mighty Ducks. So that was cool.
I dig it, man. I dig it.
Yeah.
Well, we're done for tabs. We've got one last giveaway for the night, and then we can let the people go home, and we're actually going to be done at 2.5 hours. I'm going to run away real quick.
Yeah, Resin Blood said, anybody ever see Solar Babies? Damn, raise your hand if you've seen Solar Babies. I'll tell you what, Ed, I haven't talked about that movie in decades, man. That's an old one. Last piece we're going to give away tonight when Crumbs comes back is the Speed Skull, the blank Speed Skull there. Bam. From Eddie, nice soft goods on the bag there. Logo. Bam. Dope piece. I'm sure you could probably paint this up or just leave them as is, but dope either way. So you'll be getting that. I also got some Resin Blood stickers. The other thing that I got the other day was a bunch of little giveaways from Goblin Mob. So Run On Goblin Mob sent me a nice stack of magnets and then some stickers for Villains and Creeps. And then some of the other little projects he's working on. So that'll be cool. Those will be going out with some of the next packages going out. So everybody's gonna so check this out. Crumbs is gonna flip when he sees this, I promise you. This is a giveaway that was sent to us the other day by Plastic Vomit Customs. And we'll just take a look. There's actually a few of them. We'll just take a look at this one real quick.
I'm kind of curious what I'm gonna lose my shit over now.
Oh yeah, dude. Now, the only thing that I'm kind of pissed at myself about, and we'll talk about it more next week, is somebody did the cards for him, and they're super, super sick. Actually, before I even show it, I want to look it up because I don't want to screw up. But somebody did the cards for him. It's not something that he typically does, and the cards came out sweet. Yeah.
Okay. I think I know. Plastic Vomit Customs.
Yes,
right?
correct. Yep.
And then See, now I think you're probably like me. We're
Oh, I
probably
got it.
both sitting here wondering, is it folklore or Marbs? Folklore?
Cantina Customs.
I know, fuck all that. I'm gonna shut my mouth. Cantina Customs did them. Wow.
Yeah, Cantina Customs, and they came out clean, dude. But I thought you would definitely shit over this.
Ah,
Yeah.
did you know that there's only 6 packaged Headman figures out there in the world right now?
No way. I did not know that. I did not know that. But since we looked at that one, we might as well look at this one too. Again, Cantina Customs on the card. How about that one? Another version of the Headman card. And he also did send one more carded piece that we'll take a look at next week. But Plastic Vomit, Jason and Nicole, always super generous. Plastic Vomit Customs, follow them. Cantina Customs, follow them. My Little Fluff will follow them. Great people. Cool giveaways. These are giveaways. We'll get to those next week. There's also another one that they sent.
Dude, okay, when we had them on, even it was one of those things where you're like, holy crap, you guys are like fire. They're like, they just know what's up. They just make things that, like, they're good. They're good shit, man. And then you add in that they're just nice, stupidly nice. Which, what toy people aren't nice besides me? You know, the rest of y'all fucking guys are nice people.
Yeah, besides you.
Exactly. I love it. Did we do one last giveaway for the night and we let all these people go home?
Yes, sir. I just, while you were gone, I showed the Speed Skull. Once again, the Speed Skull blank, supplied by Resin Blood himself. Thank you again, Eddie, for these. Good luck to everybody for winning this. It's a nice one. Bam. Look at that wheel. Yeah. Half the Lost Boys cast was in there. Sadat, coming your way, dude. Congratulations on the big win. Congratulations on the marriage, dude.
Well, the marriage was the big win. When you just said on the big win, it's like, yeah, well, the marriage is the big win, dude. This is a bullshit.
Congratulations on the big win. Also, congratulations on getting married. Probably been the opposite of that, but
gonna go tell his wife, honey, I know we just got married, but like, you know, the universe is looking out for me. I just got a toy off Toyz Lab9.
Yeah. Man. All right, who's getting the Speed Skull this week? It is going to be Who You Dog. There you go. Drazy's.
The karma wheel, dude. It fucking knows, homie. The karma wheel knows.
Yeah, good win. Good win right there, man. I am glad this is going to you, my friend. Boom. When are you seeing it? Did you say you're meeting up with him?
Yeah. Apparently on Wednesday, we're both going to touch dick tips.
Oh, next Wednesday. Shoot, man. I was going to see if I could get, if it was going to be a couple weeks off, I would probably get your stuff and his stuff in there together.
Just come. Just join us. Hop on a flight.
Oh, sure. Let's go. No problem. Let me update my passport, man. Which I found out the other day is expired. I tried to take it to the airport with me and I looked at it and I'm just like, dude, I got that thing 12 years ago. You know how many times I've gone out of the country? That many times. 0. Didn't even go when I got it for what I was going for. Canceled. Over.
12
Moving
years
on.
ago.
12 years ago. Moving on.
Oh, hey. Yeah, get that updated, man. That way you and Owen come down here, get that guy nice and toasty.
Hey,
19?
You said it's snowing. You said it's snowing there?
Dude, snow is falling. Vaughn Fake Name will know too. He's actually in the fucking stupidest part. You guys are getting snow like motherfuckers right now. And yeah. It's fucking winter already, dude. And admittedly,
we had that.
What is the fucking Terrible Toy Works the other day was like, oh no, dude, bring it on. I was like, listen here, homie. From October till May 24 we get snow. It's a little different when it's like 8 out of the 12 months.
Wow, dude,
they're
that's
fucking
nuts.
beautiful people too. They're beautiful people too. And of course, Terrible Toy Works would want that like nice, like misty fogginess, and it's like, yeah, but then, then 3 feet of snow. for 8 months.
Well, it finally turned fall here, where we're getting a nice run of weather that's like below 70, man, and it's the first time all year. So I think it's kind of weird, dude. Hurt and I were talking the other day, and we're talking about Halloween here. Halloween is also a good kind of measurement stick of how the year is going as far as weather goes. Dude, we've had Halloweens here where it's blazing hot outside, bro. Like you don't even want to put a mask on or anything. It's just bullshit. And then on the other hand, we've had other ones where it's pouring down rain, and it's shitty and windy and cold. And that kind of looks like what we're heading towards this year, which is fine by me.
I think I've told you before, most of our most of our costumes growing up, you had to be able to fit a snowsuit underneath it. So like it's the polar opposites, man. You're like, oh yeah, sweat with this motherfucking mask on. I'm sitting over here being like, dude, winter jackets, like the mask, if anything, you're wearing a toque and a balaclava under your mask just to like not have it stick to your wet, cold face.
Dude, I was gonna say, what if there was kids out there where they put on their Halloween costume, it was cold as shit, bro, and they had to put a jacket on, and now you're just a kid walking around in a jacket.
100%. My parents' rule was make sure your jacket can fit under your costume. Whatever you're gonna go as this year, make sure your jacket can fit underneath it, because you're gonna freeze your ass off otherwise, man.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey! All right, dude.
What do we got? What's next week?
That's a good question.
Let me check the calendar real quick and see what we got.
We have a lot of guests lined up. I know Mallow's coming in. I know.
Oh, you know what's next week? Titty Bean Collection Tour. Whew. We got a brief peek of that before. I think when he was on the show, right? He did kind of like a little scan over a little bit of something, but
he might have. He's got one of the nicest collections in the scene, man. That guy's got great fucking tastes in toys, and he's quiet about it. One Trick too. That's something we got to pull in here, man. One Trick's a goob about it. One Trick will literally be sitting in a room just like yours, acting like nothing's up. You'll be like, "Hey, dude, get any new toys recently?" The odd thing. And meanwhile, the whole wall will be behind him like yours of just fucking indie toys. You're like, you motherfucker.
He had posted some pictures recently, right? In that room. And I'm like, where the hell is that? He's like, oh, it's in my house. I was like, bro, what are you doing over there? Phenomenal collection. But next week, Titty Bean, that will be really fun. And then we are actually next week, we're already into November, dude. In November, we're to the point now where I got like one more date available for November that I'm trying to fill. And besides that, dude, including the Thanksgiving Day show, we are booked solid, my friend. We're booking for December right now. I know there's a couple people out there that reached out that said they would love to share their collection. So we'll get you guys on the schedule, hopefully for maybe end of November, early December. And then we need to start heading towards the Christmas show here in a little while. That was good.
Sorry, dude. I do what I can, Shit.
What the fuck was that? Damn, that was right on cue too, dude. Like I hit the fucking that was easy button or something. All I said was Christmas. Oh shit. All right, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Congrats to the winners. Stuff's going out tomorrow. If you've won anything in the last couple of weeks, it's all going out tomorrow. You will all get tracking numbers and all that good stuff to make you feel nice and cozy this weekend.
Speaking of cozy, hot cocoa. Right after this, hot cocoa. I'm addicted, dude. Earlier, hot cocoa in my coffee. Hot cocoa in my cocoa. I still have some hot cocoa.
What kind do you use? That's a question.
Whatever I can get my hands on.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I didn't know if you were like a hot chocolate snob and you only had a certain.
No,
you're in like Swiss Miss with marshmallows or something,
I don't know how this happens. I'll talk to coffee people about this all the fucking time, and they'll be like, "Oh, you love coffee? Have you tried Bulletproof? Have you tried?" And I'm like, dudes, I could be on the back of a train with a homeless guy, and he's wringing his sock out into a cup for me, and he goes, "Coffee?" And I'm like, "You say so." Coffee is so good, I'll drink any coffee. I don't know what this weird is. I love coffee, but only snobby. Dude, if it's liquid and it's hot.
It's that time of year.
That time of... Anyways, a lovely evening. I like seeing your grails. I like showing you my grails. There's grails for everybody. Grails.
Holy shit. All right. Well,
Catch you next week. Do it again.
See you next week.
Night, folks.